Secret friends, unite!
Welcome to the Secret Friends Unite podcast, episode 484. This is your guide to the geek side, and that is a palindrome, folks. I am one of your hosts, Todd Oxtra, joined by Charlie Carden from a wonderful state of Michigan, which apparently Dan has thoughts on, joined by our special guest, a new secret friend, Mr. Dan Welenzik, aka Daddy D. Wally, creator of the Nerdchat and co-host of said show. Thank you all for being here on a Sunday.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thanks for having me. I'm here all the time.
Well, actually,
it's glad to be asked back.
Yeah, I don't know if I should be thanking you because I've got some thoughts about Deadpool too.
Dan.
But the thoughts is what we're here for. But yeah, awesome. Welcome.
So, Dan, when you're a new guest on Secret Friends Unite, we always ask people to give their geek elevator pitch, their origin of how you became the geek you are. So it's yours.
I mean, yeah, like Todd said, I host a podcast called the Nerdchat. So, it's kind of implied that I'm a part of the nerdy geek culture. But how did I become, into this kind of stuff? I'd have to say it was my friends growing up. I moved to Colorado when I was in the first grade and was lucky enough to have a group of neighbors who were all around my age. They're a little bit older, 1 year older, 4 years older. And basically those were my best friends growing up, and we all got together, played video games, watched the same movies, played outside, played sports, the good old days. We actually
outside. Kids used to be outside.
My parents were like, "Yeah, I see you later." It's so true when you talk about like 90s and 80s.
I know all the shit that makes us, because I assume you're a Gen Xer like we are.
Well, not quite.
Sorry, are you a little younger, Charlie?
I'm an elder millennial, 84.
Well, back in our day, our kids used to just give us our parents used to give us the boot and be like, "Just don't get murdered or something," and be home when the streetlights come on. Yes,
pretty much.
Yeah,
the more I think of it, it's wild. My parents are just like, I can't even think of them being around. And during summer, during the summer, it's like they were at work. They had things to do. So
yes.
But I would say it probably really got into like video games and comics and movies, obviously around elementary school, and I just had a really good group of friends in fourth grade who I'm proud to say are still my best friends today. And I think I shared that with Todd. I'm not really sure, but we grew up. Went to elementary school, went to middle school, went to high school, went to CU Boulder together, University of Colorado Boulder, and some went to CSU up in Fort Collins. And then there's 4 or 5 of them that I'm still best friends with today. We still talk regularly. My best friend Alan, I mean, he literally was just right up the road from the elementary school. We still game to this day, and I lived with him, and that's our social circle. So yeah, we were all about Star Wars. We were all about video games, X-Men. Gosh, I'm so mad I couldn't be here for the X-Men stuff. And I mean, I'm a big X-Men fan, but I'm not probably as diehard as I think I am. But
that's okay. That's okay. Just loving the things, not having the depth of knowledge. There's no gating of any love.
In particular through Todd, because Todd is one who really loves nothing. He's here, he's there.
I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. I'm happier for it.
He doesn't have the one standalone t-shirt. Like I'm a Star Trek guy, Teen Worf.
Yeah.
But also, I'm a big Star Wars guy, which is how Mark and I did the show together and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but yes, I sometimes I'll give Todd the credit. Being such a diehard sometimes turns you into an apologist. And so you can be the one who's saying, "I thought the Acolyte was great," which we'll talk about later.
Yeah. So I am a big fan. I mean, I do love Star Wars and like video games. I'm trying to see. I don't know if I have. I have a back. You guys probably can't see, but I have a Back to the Future little Playmobil, knockoff Lego set down there.
Oh, very nice.
But one of my favorite movies, which everyone likes to make fun of me. Have you guys seen Vanilla Sky? Has anyone?
I saw that just recently, not just maybe.
I have never seen Vanilla Sky.
I would love to pick your brains on that if you had not seen it and just saw it recently. But anyway, back to the nerd stuff. So I would say I knew I was one of the good ones, one of the geeks, when I would be more focused about playing video games in college versus going out and partying and chasing
Right.
Got
girls.
it.
I chase girls, but I would much rather be like, hey,
Come play
Halo
video
3
games with me,
is
girl.
calling me
Yeah.
tonight, or can I go play some Mass Effect, or the new Star Wars is coming out and I hope I'm alive for the new trilogy before, back, what was
Yeah.
that, 2017? I'm like, can I just make it to
15.
that?
Yeah.
2015, 17, 19, was that what it was? And I was like,
Yeah.
please
There you
just
go.
can I
Yep.
not die and just to witness these things.
Thank
So-
God 2K Y2K didn't happen, so we missed out on all those other great Star Wars films.
Well, it
Oh
just
my
happened
gosh,
the other
yeah.
day. What are you talking about, Todd? The other day was Y2K, apparently, with all the.
Oh,
Oh
apparently,
God,
yeah.
it was real Y2K. I found
Man,
girls
I
in-
shouldn't have released that patch. I was just like, I said, forget it. It's
Yeah,
time for the
right.
weekend.
I had met some girls in college who liked to watch Star Trek with me. So that's,
Well, see?
because we were not, Oxford and I, we were college roommates. That's, we go back.
Oh,
almost
really?
30
Oh,
years.
my
Oh,
God.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
God, you didn't tell me that. Oh,
Yeah,
my God.
19
That's why we started the podcast, Dan.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, that's
all those in
awesome.
Michigan,
That's
and
how you
Minnesota,
like,
hey,
you
we
like
like
me
the
and
Tech
these
stuff.
guys. That's
Yep.
awesome.
Yeah.
1995, but yeah, Todd and I were never bar guys. We did our thing, and
Yeah.
and women infiltrated that eventually. But yeah, it very eventually.
Yeah. No,
We
what's
had some
funny
great
too?
parties we threw ourselves, though. We brought the
We
party.
did too.
We
would
were
have
the party.
No, don't trust me.
Yeah.
Like my friends, they were obsessed with beer pong. Like every Friday night, I'm like, okay, you guys can play beer pong. I'm gonna go play Halo until some girls show up. Or I'll come join you later. But
Can't dull those skills, Dan. Can't
Yeah.
dull
I
those
was-
skills with beer pong.
I was just gonna say,
right.
that's so funny. You said you found people who like Star Trek. We always kid around in our we call it our nerd chat in our text group, and we're always like, we were just born like 5, 6, 10 years too early, because now all the everyone,
Right.
it's cool to
Right,
be.
it's a thing.
Cool to be a nerd. Like we were
Generationally, yeah.
Yeah, we were kind of in the mix where like I've
Yes.
always been proud of who I am, and I have no problem with what people think of me, and I've always had no shame being into Star Wars, being into video games, all that. But we do talk about this on the nerd chat. Like there was a stigma where like you kind of hid it. You were kind of like, I don't know,
Yeah.
a little embarrassed. Like it wasn't necessarily cool. Now it's
No.
like the coolest thing ever, and I'm like,
Just gotta be.
so
Yes.
Well,
that's my
now
origin story.
geek culture's everywhere. Back in the
Yeah.
day, you actually actively had to
Yes.
seek
Yep.
it out,
Get
and a lot of people.
Get yourself that
didn't want to.
Starlog magazine. Yep, that's what it was back in the
Exactly.
old days.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wizard and Starlog. But anyway, I digress. Let's keep things rolling. But yeah, Dan, awesome to have you on board.
Thank you.
Let's dig in. We'll talk a little bit about things we're enjoying, and then we'll get into Deadpool 2. But first and foremost, gotta pay those bills. It's like move that. What was that? Move that bus. What was that show where they were that? Move
The bus. It was a
There you go.
home improvement America.
Yeah, exactly. See, we don't even know. But we move the bus by talking about the awesome folks over on our Secret Friends Unite Patreon squad. If you visit patreon.com/Secret Friends Unite, you can find our exclusive programming, ad-free versions, early versions of our shows, great Discord benefits for as little as $2 a month. Monthly MSU Patreon podcast starts at the end of this month. So if you're a Patreon, want to check that out, it will be there for you to check out. So we'd love to have you on board. You can do a free 7-day trial of all of our wares. And if you like what you hear, we would love to have you stick around. On our Friends with Benefits level, John Sedorf, the awesome Phoenix Sisters cosplay, Kelly and Crayley, great ladies. Brendan Myers, and I found, what did you write there? I found it, Laura? Who is that, Todd? I'm looking at your notes.
Oh, never mind. Move on.
Okay, and moving on, Corey and HD and Matthew Keel, the BFFs level, the fantastic Nias family of the Twin Cities, Sean, Stella, Henry. We are very grateful for you guys. One more time to everyone else, patreon.com/Secret Friends Unite. Give us a 7-day trial. I think you'll want to stick around, as Arnie says in Predator.
Yes. Oh, and one update. Mark has now landed, I think, on his Patreon podcast. It's called Walk Nerdy With Me, where he goes on a walk and talks about what he's nerding out about, all the fun things. And it's just for something he wants to feel healthier. And, he's like, hey, I don't have a lot of free time, but I can talk while I walk. Well, he thinks he can.
Yeah.
He's a little not so sure. He's like, it's hard to walk and talk at the same time.
Walk, chew gum, never mind.
That's how you know, Todd, if you're doing a correct workout, you should be able to have a conversation while you're working. I'm sure you've heard that. So technically, he should be able to do this.
Yes, Dan is also a
Right.
fitness nut, so
Oh, very good.
So proud
I'm-
of seeing Todd on fitness threads. Todd, shout out to
Yes,
Todd.
very good. I have been throwing myself fully into playing pickleball with a group of
Oh
friends
my
here locally.
gosh.
Really enjoying the hell out of that.
Charlie's
So yeah,
literally a 65-year-old man. He's ready to be 65.
I'm
He's been
ready.
65 since he was like 22.
My 75-year-old father, who had spinal fusion 3 or 4 years ago, plays 3 or 4 times a week, and
Wow.
my dad is a dominant, aggressive athlete, has been his entire life. So I'm afraid to play with him again. You whoop my ass.
Take that, son.
Yeah, right. But no, it's great fun if you never tried it. But we're not here to talk about pickleball. We are kind of here to talk about this wacky comic book cover from 1981. This is a little later than I expected, but this is a DC comic called Adventure Comics. This is issue 4. Oh, you found one that actually is our actual
484. Not many comics go to 484.
Yeah, this is the first time in a long time that we found one that actually matches our number. Usually we just take the last 2 digits. But Adventure Comics presents Dial H for hopefully not heroin. It was the 80s. The sensational new comic you create. Oh God, this was like a choose your own adventure comic.
Yeah.
Did you get like a Mad Libs and you'd be like, Bill walks into the room, does he pee in the corner or does he
No.
high five the okay?
Know what this is about? People would write in with superhero creations and they would get featured in this comic, and it's called Dial H for Hero.
up.
They have this
Really?
dial where essentially it gives them a special ability, and people would write in with suggestions. So that's what this comic was all about. These
Oh my gosh.
teens that would dial the H watch, and they would get different powers every episode.
So
issue of
all
the
right.
comic.
So this
Let me-
wasn't a choose your own adventure. I'm
It was
confused.
not.
No.
Yeah. that's
Oh,
not
well,
that.
dang
No.
It was a
I
choose your
wanna-
own
it was
choose your
interesting.
own creation.
I was all right. There's a lot of textually going on right here, so let me try to knock it out. Hopefully, you're watching us on YouTube so that you can see what's going on. Once again, Chris King and Vicky Grant spin their power dials to confront the most incredible criminal in the annals, or anals if you prefer, of Villaindom.
No anal.
No anal. Ooh, okay, well, okay. His name is, this is terrible, Mr. Negative. We don't need that kind of negativity on this show.
Oh,
But
it's
we
secretly me, Charlie. Sorry. That's
oh
that's me. I'm
no,
Mr. Negative.
I can tell by the way that street light is shining off the top of his head. We promise you've never seen anyone like him before. We see 2 heroes. There's a female character who's wearing kind of a one-piece swimsuit that's also a mock turtleneck, but with the awesome rainbow thing happening. That's very 70s, and I like that. But next to at her feet, or I should say in the foreground of this, and them being in the midground of this picture, Wasp Man and Weather Witch battle Bounty Hunter, and it has a different, in this issue of the Daily Planet, in different heroes pictured, which not 100% sure how that features in, but on the opposing walls, they're standing in an alleyway, and our villain is standing on top of a rickety fence. It's an alleyway filled with crap. There's a guy laying on. Oh no, that's his shadow. I thought there was a dead body.
No dead bodies. They didn't lose the battle already.
But we see posters on the opposing walls of these buildings with "coming soon" on one, and then another one titled "Vibro." Would these be upcoming characters in future issues? I would assume.
Well, let me just tell you, yeah, because this
Break it
issue
down.
featured Chris King was also Wasp Man and Vibro, and Vicky Grant was the Weather Witch and Emerald Tiger. So they kind of gave you they'd use different powers within the episode or issue. So yeah, this was kind of a unique, approach to getting audiences interacting. I'm assuming you had to send a letter in, and maybe it would
Right.
show up like 3 weeks later, and maybe
Right.
they confirm it. But the great thing about this, it was written by Marv Wolfman and penciled by Don Heck.
Oh, Don
Classic
Heck.
DC guy. Yeah.
Marv Wolfman was responsible for a lot of character creation at
Teen Titans.
Marvel in particular. Teen Titans, but yeah, a lot of characters back in the day. So, Dan, any thoughts on this wonderful visage? Lot going on here.
Yeah, that guy kind of looks like an X-Man.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like one of the 60s ones, right? With that.
Oh, right.
outfit.
Yeah.
But it looks like
The
he has
classic
his-
costume.
Yeah, he looks like he's got Jubilee hands. I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on.
Yep.
Jubilee hands.
Do we know? Do we know the names of these characters on the cover? The
Oh yeah,
rainbow
yeah.
lady?
That was Weather Witch. Well,
No,
maybe.
that's not
I
them.
think,
No. That's in the picture.
That's the
I
one in the
think
picture. That's not
oh,
them. Yeah.
I think these was the characters that they before they turned into Weather Witch and the other ones. So I think it was the identity from the previous comic, and then they had new characters. I don't know. We may have to read it to figure this out, Dan.
I'm so confused.
I'm absolutely thrown.
What's the date for this?
1981.
81.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have a question for any of these Dial H for Hero, or any of them canon. Can any of them be referred to in the DC universe?
Assume no.
It was pre-crisis, so I'd say no. This seems like something that that Crisis on Infinite Earths would have handily taken care of, getting rid of that shit.
No, I'm interested. I wish I should try to read this now. This should be my.
Is it over
homework.
on DC?
It might be on DC Universe Infinite, the stream, the comic service. So I don't know.
To see what it's about. Sorry, yeah, but I really like this Mr. Negative.
Yeah,
very.
It's like that.
I'm interested right away.
It's Todd's new name, Mr. Negative.
Yes, call me Mr. Negative.
And promise, we've never seen anyone like him. So away,
never again.
Big thing about this comic.
Absolutely crazy. Good deal. Okay. Well, that's crazy. I'd love to hear if it's on DC Infinite, so we'll get back together about that. But in the meantime, someone else who was an octogenarian in the 1980s, that would be our senior news correspondent, Madam Web. She is currently down at the corner of Hollywood and Vine, waiting to give us the latest scoops. Let's do it.
Now it's time for Madam Web's rumors and news. Take it away, boys.
Thank you, Madam Web. Madam Web, you look across, you see Dan.
Fresh meat.
Not sure how you feel about older women or having a sister wife for your wife, but Madam Web is always available. She is on Cranky. It's actually the service dating service for older angry adults. So,
she's 124 years young, just so you know. She was born in 1900.
Is Madam Web like a visual transition that you have on the video for this, Todd?
Oh, absolutely. No, okay. She's our news anchor. She basically gathers all our news for us. Yeah, she's a wonderful lady.
I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what just happened now, and now I have to know who Madam Web is and who you're referring to with
you.
You can also watch.
You will find out.
You'll see it when you watch the video. It's fantastic. Yes, she's been with us for every episode of our.
Is this your wife or something, Todd? Is this?
No. Not my wife.
You will find out when you dig deeper. But anyway, let's get into some news. This is kind of a big deal. So there's a lot of transition going on after Jonathan Majors and his situation over with the next couple of Marvel films. Now we know that obviously we're sitting on the cusp of getting Deadpool and Wolverine. Our next film will be Captain America. Then we're moving into the Fantastic Four. Let me know if I'm forgetting anything. But then we start to set Thunderbolts. Thank you. Then we start to set our sights on the next 2 Avengers films. So we're the good people at Marvel are obviously looking to pull off another Infinity War / Endgame. So let's not go too far from the well after we booted Kang, and let's bring back the Russos. Todd, what do you think?
Woo! Okay. So the Russo brothers, they started off in comedy, did episodes of Community, other things like that.
Yep.
I think they fell upon the right time to get into comic book movies. They did the unthinkable of basically bringing home the Avengers saga, the MCU, and on a bright point, they left. They went to Netflix. But I will tell you, if you've watched anything they've done post Endgame, has been absolute Netflix movie trash. They got paid a lot,
and with Chris Evans in tow, because I've watched a few of those.
Not good films. So you always think it's like, was it more about the property and them doing a good job with the property than them being really talented creators on their own? So I would say it's more about the right place, coming at the right time, and doing a great job of the property. So I don't think this is going to solve any of the problems with Marvel, and they're coming back to a Marvel that is far more like diluted. It's all over the place. They have so many more TV shows and movies and things to pull in. And especially now with pivoting from Kang and going to something different, man, I am not 100%, sold in that anyone can really bring back the glory.
Right, the ship. Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, something subsequent to this article wise, and of course everything is speculation, but we are on the cusp of San Diego Comic-Con, which I assume we'll talk quite a bit about in our next
week.
episode. Yeah, the films Avengers 5, thus untitled, and Avengers Secret Wars, slated for release in May of 2026 and 2027 respectively. You just don't know. You just absolutely don't know. There's talk of transitioning the villain over to Doctor Doom, assuming that we're going to see him in Fantastic Four. I think that part could certainly work because Doctor Doom he's a top shelf villain in Marvel. But it all depends on who's the actor, what's the storyline, are they adapting something, are they doing so, because they always adapt something at some level. I mean, the Infinity Saga, the Infinity Gauntlet, was adapted at some level, but then they took some different directions with it, I believe. I don't know.
I mean, if we're doing Secret Wars, truly, it's probably going to be the Secret Wars that we had in the most recent Secret Wars miniseries, where Doom
from 2015
was essentially in charge. Yeah, so I'm assuming that would be the one adapt, which makes sense. But quite honestly, Doctor Doom, if he's introduced in Fantastic Four, if that's late 2025 and that's 2027, I just don't know if there's enough room to really develop him as a character where people would be like, forward. Oh, Dr. Doom versus Thanos, who was introduced so early, built up slowly, like, oh, that's a real threat. So I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah. But it's not like they can pull something out of their butt that they've been cultivating, that's a terrible visual. I apologize. To really figure out what else.
Is hard to do.
What else could they do? I don't know. Dan, what are you thinking?
Well, here's the thing. I've never been into the Avengers. When I was growing up, I was all about X-Men. 90s X-Men, 90s kid, 90s comics.
That would be very common, actually, to tell you the truth. And the Avengers were kind of like...
Yeah, when the Avengers came, I was like, why should I care about these guys?
I'm the anomaly because I read Avengers and Cap comics.
So you were really living in it during...
Big time.
Oh my gosh. So this really hit you. So my perspective is, that's where I'm coming from. So I just wanted to say, like, when the whole... Avengers saga started, I wasn't sold. Like, I was like, these characters don't really interest me. I don't know what's going on. But then Iron Man came out. I'm like, this is a good movie. And then I didn't really keep up with all of them, but I slowly would like start to watch out. I didn't go and see everyone at the theaters. I actually don't know. I can't remember if I saw which ones I saw in the beginning there, but eventually I'm like, okay, these movies are pretty good. I'm enjoying what I'm getting. And then we get to Avengers, right? And I remember everyone lost their minds at the first
Absolutely. 2012.
I'm sure you were losing your mind, Charlie, when they all...
It was that
camera circle around them. I'm like, this is cool, but where are the X-Men? But anyway, so...
Fox has still got them.
Exactly.
You're
so
stuck
at
with
that
McAvoy.
point, I was like, okay, I see what they're doing here. I think what really started to grab me, which is wild when I think about it, was Guardians of the Galaxy. I had no idea who they were. I never heard of them, right? Nobody exactly did. Right. And I was like, that is a good movie. Okay. The characters, how they came together, fantastic movie. That's probably one of my favorites. And then Winter Soldier, and I'm like, okay, this is where I started to pick up. And then I was aboard the train, right? I started to watch all of them. And I'll never forget, I went and saw Endgame by myself. Because when did Endgame come out? It was
2019.
Exactly. So my girls must have, was it May of 2019?
Yeah. Summer. It kicked off summer movie season.
So it was right before our twin girls were going to be born. So my wife was 9 months pregnant or whatever, 8 months pregnant. Grayson was at home and she's like, you're just gonna have to go see it by yourself. So I remember going by myself to see Endgame in the middle of the day, like that opening weekend or the week after, because I didn't want it spoiled or whatever.
Right.
And just crying by myself in the theater.
Me too.
Oh,
so much emotion for me,
which is crazy to me because, like I said, I still kind of don't care about the Avengers, but they did such a great job building that universe, having that planned, having it all culminate in Endgame. I mean, what a movie Endgame was, and obviously the movie that said it. What was it? What was the one before? What I can't remember.
Infinity War.
No. Was it? No. What was the one
Captain Marvel.
It was a two-parter.
Well, there was Captain Marvel in between.
Yeah. No. What was the Avengers before?
Black Panther, Captain Marvel, all.
Infinity War. Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, Age of Ultron was before that.
Yeah,
Right.
and then Civil War with Captain America.
Yeah. Like when it all ended, I was like, this is perfection. Just
Right.
let it end here. Why are we now? Just move on, right?
Right.
You can't redo that.
You can't top it. That's
We
the
are
stuff.
not going to see that again, Todd. Like that was
Yeah.
incredible. And now I see these guys are coming back, and I'm like, what are we doing here? Are we trying to hold on to something that's
Trying to catch that lightning in the
lightning
bottle.
in a bottle? Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was, and I'm like, I'm not so sure. Why can't we move on? It seems like they're lost over at Disney. It seems like similar to Star Wars. What happened to the plan? Did you guys not have a plan?
It's they put it in that bottle and they threw it in the ocean.
And,
so it's the police's the message in a bottle. That's what it is.
You know who likes money? Disney.
Well,
that's what's in the bottle.
Plan.
You gotta have a plan that works. Okay, and then afterwards, something was off. Everyone, the movies since Endgame. Can you tell me one that stands out? Like I haven't
Guardians
even been
3.
able to stay up.
Guardians 3 is it, and it was a sequel.
And I liked Guardians 3, but I still think the other ones are better. I mean, I still think Guardians 1 is still the best.
Spider-Man No Way Home was probably the only other movie.
Yeah, okay, good point. But that also technically, where does that fall? The whole Sony.
Yeah, again, it's a
Spider-Man
sequel,
thing.
and the shows are very messy.
It just seems like they're trying to go back. Hey, to me, this is screaming member berries. Todd knows I like to talk about the member berries. Like, hey, member Captain America, remember Iron Man?
You turn into Chris Farley is saying, remember we did that? That was awesome.
I'm just, to me, guys, and then I don't know all the saga going on with Jonathan Majors. I know he did something bad, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's
domestic
abuse.
abuse.
Out, right?
Yeah.
He's all the way done.
I'll admit, I haven't even seen the most recent. What was the last
Loki with him?
I haven't seen. Okay, that's the other thing, Charlie. How the heck do you have time to keep up with all this? I say this to Todd all the time.
Charlie's got no kids in the house.
Okay, no kids in the house. My wife and I watch everything together.
Oh my gosh! There you go. That's the other thing. If you've got a wife who hates this stuff, and you don't play video games either, right? So
I'm in your Dan court. Dan, my wife doesn't watch a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, Todd watches it on its own. Yeah,
but a lot of stuff doesn't. Yeah.
The last thing I saw was from the Marvels. I did see the after credit scene. I spoiled it. Whatever. I don't care.
Because the
character from the franchise that I care about making a random appearance, the Blue Man.
It was
yes.
I'm like
the Blue Man group is at the end of that movie.
I was like, what is going on here? You have my interest now. Okay.
And you'll never find out about it.
You'll never know.
Exactly. I'm like,
Kelsey Grammer will not return.
But now you guys are telling me that they're doing Fantastic. Why do we keep going back to Fantastic Four, you guys? How many times?
Because Charlie loves it, and Marvel hoping somebody else will love it too.
So Charlie's getting everything he wants, but
everything's
coming up, Charlie.
Not doing exactly? Why are we not doing X-Men? I don't understand.
We are, Dan. We're doing it in like 2020.
Am I going to be dead? Am I going to be dead, Todd, by the time X-Men comes?
X-Men 97, Dan. Be happy.
Dan, you seem to have prescient about your own death, and I hope it doesn't come to pass.
Dan, you're gonna be working out. Although cut out the McDonald's is all I will say.
So sorry, Charlie. Deep back to your original question. It seems to me it's like, hey, you remember this? Remember Avengers? Remember to me, I'm like, guys, figure it out. Okay?
Just figure it out.
Just have a plan. Stick to it. Whether or not these hit. Let the audience decide.
But I'm gonna say something that is figuring.
You muted yourself, but
I hit my mic. Here's a segue into something that has figured it out because it's apparently going to be huge at the box office. Going to probably set records for R-rated films. That is Deadpool and Wolverine. We got the final trailer. We're going all in. We're getting a lot more reveals, and this is exciting. And I will be seeing it. I will be seeing it with my son, my friend Sean, the Saturday, and we are ready to go. Obviously, a lot of people have the same thoughts because this movie is tracking to like potentially in between 150 to $200 million.
Right.
But we just finished Logan last episode. That was our last cover movie that we did in the Summer of X, and we got a big reveal that Laura X-23 is going to be in this film, whether it's a flashback, a long entrance, but we are getting the adult version. It's very exciting. She was just in The Acolyte. Daphne Keane. She played Jackie Moon, as I call her. If you remember Jackie Moon from Semi-Pro,
from
Flint
Michigan, yeah.
Yeah, the Flint Tropics. But she's going to be in this film. We've got a lot of other really great appearances in the final trailer, and I am so excited for this movie. Logan and I have been catching up on these films, and man, the goofiness and the wackiness and the heart of Deadpool, bringing back Wolverine full costume. I mean, my heart is full.
I liked, because April and I watched this trailer when it dropped, and she said that one was there was no yucks in that one. It was very serious, full of the emotions, and that great reveal with Jackie Moon at the end that was doing the do, as they say, really, really clocked out. So I'm jazzed. I actually we're seeing it Thursday, and then bought tickets to see it a second time in IMAX. Because that's covered under our theater thing. So, because I'm assuming I will love it so much I want to see it again quickly. So I'm going to do the IMAX. I think we did 3D. So we'll see. All the crotch shots coming right at you. So so excited.
We also got a scene of the full reveal of Lady Deadpool, which there's a lot of conjecture of who Lady Deadpool will be. We're hearing Taylor Swift. It might be Ryan Reynolds' wife, Blake Lively. I don't know. Any thoughts of who it could be?
I'm going to go Taylor Swift. I'm plunking down on Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I saw a T Swift Easter egg, and I saw it when I was watching Deadpool 2, and so that'd be my guess.
Yeah. Didn't she do the theme song of Deadpool 2? Wasn't that her?
She was in the end trailer of Deadpool 2.
The end part. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's my guess. It'll be and I'm sure it'll come along and sweep and be neither one of those two. But I'm gonna be a Swiftie on this one, and I'm gonna double down.
There was a joke. Ryan Reynolds basically said he was sued by Taylor Swift for including her cats in the movie.
Yeah,
which I thought was hilarious.
Oh,
I love it. So this is happening. I'm very excited. I mean, it's coming next week. So quite honestly, if you don't know about Deadpool and Wolverine, you obviously have been at the frozen aisle looking to buy Red Baron pizza. Various many. There's so many good ads right now.
Great Old Spice. That was one I
ketchup and mustard Heinz with the Deadpool and Wolverine. I mean, they're not shying away.
Unfortunately, not the adamantium. What's the beer brand that they picked? It was the fake ad where he goes to pop his claws out, and he said, "Don't get mad, but I took some of your adamantium." And
Heineken.
Heineken. There you go. Yeah.
That was good. That was a good product placement.
Yeah. Heineken.
So Dan, are you going to see Deadpool and Wolverine?
I would love to. I just need to find someone to go with. I'll try to. That's a good idea. I should try to.
All right, I'll be right there. It's a 24-hour drive to Denver. I'll be right there.
Dan, there's no shame in seeing movies alone. I am.
That's what Todd does. That.
You're right. No,
almost exclusively.
I might have to. I just enjoy the experience more, seeing people and being able to talk. You know how that is. But no, I plan on it. But no, actually, Jose, that's a great idea, Todd. I should ask Jose and Bacon, and we should try to go see that.
Have a Nerdchat party.
Do it, yeah.
But no, I do not have my tickets purchased like you guys, and IMAX and Wolverine head buckets of popcorn.
I never did. I never did end up with that. I wonder if there will be something merch-wise that I can snag that day at the theater. But we'll see. I don't know.
Most of them. Yeah, if you don't go to AMC, then you're getting
it's AMC? Perfect.
I think AMC does all of the really big buckets and things like that.
We got the Ghostbusters car in our theater, which is not AMC. So, cool. But you're right.
It's Wolverine and there's a Deadpool.
Is that limited though? Do you know, Todd? Is it
they're limited?
Probably.
So that's why they go on eBay. Yep. So I'm putting a secondary story in here, Charlie, and you're just going to have to just grin and bear it. To celebrate this movie, Xbox is partnering with Deadpool and Wolverine and have created a controller with a stunt butt.
Oh, yes.
Stunt butt.
Have you seen this, Charlie?
Amazing.
I shared it with Mark and Todd the other day, and Mark's comment was, "I'm not going to get fooled a second time." But I think it says don't try to hump your controller. Or something.
Well, you're gonna be fondling Deadpool the whole time while you play. Put your fingers around the back. Yeah.
Hopefully the controller doesn't go, ooh, buy me a drink first.
But the butt removes. The butt does remove. It's magnetic, so you can
So
put
it is
in
a stunt
batteries.
butt. Okay.
It is a stunt
Gotcha.
butt. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's fantastic. All right. Well, let's segue to at least talk about this friggin' soundtrack. Oh my God. Now this drops on the 24th. I thought I saw it. I don't know if it's in the body of this, but I think I saw it in a headline a few days ago. I'm looking. I don't see a date.
Next week. It'll not drop next week. Yeah.
All right. Well, good. And I assume I'll be able to snag that on my, because I have Amazon Prime Unlimited Music. Todd, I know you do Spotify. Is that correct?
Might be going to YouTube. Might be going to YouTube Premium because I can get ad-free plus free music. So
I've had that for quite some time now, so I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
You don't have YouTube Premium, Todd?
I have not had YouTube Premium.
Whoa.
I know.
There's one thing.
Yeah, losing those
Incredible.
YouTube ads it's totally worth it. But anyway, let's talk about the soundtrack because we know that the Deadpool films have always had great tunes, stuff from the 80s, stuff from the 90s, modern day, even going in the case of this, going all the way back. So I'm gonna blast through quickly some hits. Track listing was revealed online a few days ago. We're getting songs from the Platters, that is from the 50s, Only You. In Sync. You get a couple I don't know. We get but yeah, a couple from some artists I'm not super fond of. Of course, Angel of the Morning, halt back to the first film. Track from Fergie, 90s classic The Goo Goo Dolls. Huey Lewis's The Power of Love, the theme from Back to the Future. Waylon Jennings, Avril Lavigne, a little bit of a Canadian throw out to the early 2000s. But this is a fun one. From the cast of The Greatest Showman, one of Hugh Jackman's greatest claims to fame, The Greatest Show.
Great movie.
Great stuff. Good deal.
I like this. Classic Lady in Red, that song you had to hear in the 70s. Lady in Red.
I have a junior high school dance story that goes around that song, but I'm not telling it right now.
Oh God, Eric Carmen, Make Me Lose Control. That's a classic.
I love that song. My God, Green Day's Good Riddance, The Time of Your Life, which was like everybody's height. It's a song of the year when you graduate from high school.
Yeah, graduate. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But yeah, and then just good stuff. Just cannot wait to get my hands on this.
Yeah, it's called Deadpool and Wolverine's Van Jams.
I'm surprised you guys didn't look in this. These are like spoilers. Charlie, what are you doing to yourself here? Look at the songs. Why are you doing that?
Well, it's kind of like when the Star Wars movies come out, like the soundtrack is like Obi-Wan's death thrall.
Well, that was I know when
Darth Maul, I wish I wasn't cut in half over losing you.
I'm only half a man. No, that was the big deal back in 1999 when Episode 1 dropped. The soundtrack came out first, and like track 19, Qui-Gon's death funeral. Really? We're like, first of all, who's Qui-Gon? And now I know that he's dead.
No.
Yes. I wish I wasn't half a man by Darth Maul.
Yes.
Half the man I used to be. Oh my God. Yeah, but I'm fired up about this. Dan, are you a big music guy? Music is my religion.
I just love music. And I was just gonna say the one that I'm glad you pointed this out. Have you guys been to Yard House, the restaurant?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. It's a great, think of like upper class Chili's with serving beer on tap.
Ooh, yeah, a nicer chain restaurant. Yeah.
Yard, exactly. I don't know that we have them here in Michigan. If we do, I've missed it.
Oh, you got to go if there's one out there. So it really is. They have great food, great beer, great drinks, and I think that's like tagline and like a great atmosphere and great music. And every time we go, Huey Lewis in the news, The Power of Love happens to come on when I'm there, and I just start instantly. I'm back in what is it, 1980? When was 1985, and I'm Marty McFly rocking out to that song. So
looking at your watch.
Very, very happy to see that. I'll have to show you guys.
Wearing an orange vest.
Yes,
Halloween picture. But yeah,
Dork thinks he's going to drown.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
All right. So get the soundtrack on your device, but something that's new but is old, or something old is new again, and that is Time Bandits is coming back based on the classic Terry Gilliam 1981 film. We're getting a new Apple TV series by Jermaine Clement and Taika Waititi. You know, those guys from the
Oh
Flight
my
of the
gosh.
Conchords, What They Do in the Shadows, all of those fun shows. Basically, we're getting a remake or an update to Time Bandits, and it's going to be a different cast. Lisa Kudrow, which is the oddest choosing
Right.
for a
It
science fiction
it
type of fantasy show.
it
Why?
it
What's
kind of
wrong with
kind of
Lisa Kudrow?
kind of
No,
needs to
nothing's
be a
wrong
new
with her. I just
cast.
would have
Yeah.
not have expected her in
Yeah.
a fantasy. She's
Right.
not. I mean, it'd be like
It
Jennifer
really jumped
Aniston
out
being
there.
in a superhero film, I guess.
Well,
You know?
she's not really done any genre work.
She's forever
I
a friend. Okay, got it.
Yes.
Yeah, I will for sure say that Time Bandits, which came out in 1981, I related to someone else this week. In my old neighborhood in Grosse Pointe, where I grew up, we had a neighbor who was very into Monty Python. And of course, this was the early 80s. So that's when Monty Python was enormous. And so we got indoctrinated into this. Terry Gilliam made this film and we got spun into it. And all of and I know that the D word is not appropriate for people of diminutive stature. We call them little people, correct, Todd? We had this conversation.
Yes, little people, correct.
All the little people in it, many of them were also in Star Wars. Kenny Baker was in it, who was R2-D2, a couple of the other ones who were Ewoks and stuff a couple of years later. So that was all very cool and energetic. David Warner was in that. The late Shelley Duvall had a bit piece. Sean Connery was in it, for God's sakes. I mean, this is an iconic film. So it was funny, Todd, I related to you, and I'm not going to drop the individual's name, but when this trailer dropped earlier this week, and I watched it just now because sometimes stuff gets past me, this individual, who is a very ardent old school movie fan, was really upset that this is being remade with a cast of not little people, which I'm like,
really?
Todd has a thought.
Correct.
Please.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I totally get that. This is not a remake. It's not like just retelling the same story. It's a different story in this universe that's weird. But there are little people, but now they're teaming up with evil.
Right.
So they just aren't the
script.
protagonists this time.
Right.
Yeah.
And I did notice in this trailer, there are elements, story elements from the original film, including the big giant was one of the ones I saw in there that was part of the original film. And something else that's now escaping me, but I did see some other nods and winks and inclusion of things. But yeah, you're right. Lisa Kudrow is the main character, taking over for, I can't remember, Randall, I think, was the main time bandit of them, and she's taking over in that role. And I do love when she says, I am de facto the leader, and that they're being accosted by pirates who all point their swords at her, and she said, well, actually, we're a democracy, and so they all point swords at everybody else. It's adorable. I'm fired up about this. I do not have Apple Plus right now, but I will. Is this a weekly drop, Todd? Should I be waiting?
It will be. Apple does weekly drops.
Yeah, so I should wait, for 2 months and then watch all at the same time, potentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. We've got Jermaine Clement replacing David Warner as the primary antagonist.
Right.
We've also got Taika Waititi playing the Supreme Being.
Right.
So I will say this: everyone that panics about any remake that says, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe," I'm like, it's not like somebody has gone back and just eliminated all the originals. They're all gone. You can't
even though there are time bandits, and if they wanted to, they might sneak into all of our basements and take away our DVDs. Oh, it's gone. It's gone.
I think the plan is Apple will be going to everyone's home with firearms to steal their copies that they own, eliminating all the servers with the digital copies.
It will be erased.
You must like this.
It's gone forever.
If you like those originals, it's there, and actually would probably bring more people to the original Time Bandits than people even remember, because I like, and I'll say this to Dan. Dan, have you ever seen Time Bandits?
I have not.
He's going to say no.
See, there you go. You're the primary audience for this. Someone who doesn't even know what this old movie is.
It's very
and you might discover it and enjoy this.
Yeah. Now, Todd, I told my story, and you and I are obviously the same age. How did you discover this movie?
Oh, I think it was like on UHF or something on a weekend. I'm like, what is this weird, wacky movie?
There you go.
And as a kid of a certain age, when there was like UHF, fun fact, Dan, back in the old days, there were the VHF channels, which were the primary, like, Channel 2 or whatever, your CBS Fox. And then you had these channels that were the high band or UHF on your old TV.
And you had to push the button on the TV and it went clunk, clunk, clunk.
No, Charlie. You had a dial. You had to go because you want to go from channel 20 to channel 66.
Analog TV radio band.
Honestly, the early cable was a box with a huge dial on it because we had HBO. when it was brand new, because my mom was a single mom, so we didn't have a lot of frills, but HBO was free because it was new, but you had to go and turn the
TV
big
had
dial.
knobs and dials versus
I know.
buttons when I grew up. Dan, I didn't have cable until I was in junior high.
Oh
So
my
that's,
God.
but yeah, I would, UHF, like they'd show like old reruns of movies and things like that. And then that's how as a kid, I would find things to watch. But
Right.
that was the main reason I'd stick around in the house. I had nothing to do in the house.
Right.
Got to get out of the house. But yeah, this is coming out. So hopefully, Dan, through this, I think people that aren't aware of the movie will discover it and enjoy the new series as well.
Yes,
That's
I
the
agree.
best thing we can have.
Yeah, I'll just say
very
it had
enjoyable.
It had a unique tone. I couldn't quite,
yes,
figure out, is this a
very
comedy?
British humor?
Is this
that's consistent because it's more Kiwi humor because it's being made by a couple of New Zealanders. So I don't know. It's a blend. It's a blend. All right. Well, I'm very excited for this. Todd, do you have Apple right now? Am I liberating?
Todd probably has everything, right?
I
don't have Apple
that's a service that I only get on occasion if like Ted Lasso is coming out. But Ted Lasso is not coming out anymore, so I don't have it. So I will probably sign up when there's enough things to watch.
Yeah, good point. I may cave and sign up and watch it weekly, or I might forget. I don't know. That's the beauty of having ADD. So moving on. So we're gonna talk. Todd, did we talk about The Boys and the Geek Easy? I can't
we will be. We will be.
We will be. So anyway, The Boys season 4 wrapped up this week. Holy cow. Very exciting. And we know that in this postmodern streaming world that shows come out generally on average once a year, which isn't terribly different than, under the old model of network TV, some, shows would get the summer off, but then they would come back, where in the modern world, we just get it once a year. But it's not going to, unfortunately, be that easy for The Boys, which, spoiler alert, ended on a cliffhanger, which is really not surprising. But now we're going to have to wait upwards of 2 years to find out how that all gets resolved. So, yeah, it's tough. I know that this has some, it does weigh in with other Boys-related projects that are coming out. It sounds like I'm scrolling, Boys Mexico, I know is one, and I can't remember if we got a trailer for that or not.
No, we haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, Gen V, and then The Boys presents Diabolical. I feel like we got a trailer for one of those, did we not?
Diabolical is the animated series. Yeah, Diabolical, we get a season 1. I enjoyed it. Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah, Boys, The Boys Mexico is the third spinoff. So they're making us, they're kind of dragging us through the mire. Todd will really have to make a concerted effort to watch some YouTube videos when the next one comes along, because we'll be like, I can't remember what's going on because it'll be 2 years from now. I don't have that kind of bandwidth.
Exactly. Yeah. The only thing that I'm hearing now for season 5 is Jared Padalecki is going to be most likely joining the show for the final season. So for those of you fans of Supernatural,
how interesting considering what was involved in the cliffhanger.
Yes. Yeah. So that's basically bringing the whole team together from Supernatural together, which is great because the president in The Boys is Bobby, and he even used the term "idjit," which is a Bobbyism that I love to pieces.
April chuckled out loud when that happened, and I didn't understand, so she explained it to me.
So Dan, I know we're going to talk a little bit about The Boys, but have you watched any of The Boys so far?
Charlie, Todd, this is where you guys are going to hate me.
No, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. No hate.
I have not seen The Boys yet, you guys.
It's okay.
Nothing but good things. Todd talks about it all the time.
I was late to the party myself.
Again, Charlie. Yeah. Where's the time, you guys?
It's out there. You just got to pluck it out of the air. Bloop, 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 bloop.
Dan,
it's out there.
Dan, I will say this. As a fellow gamer, gaming is the hobby I feel like that takes up the most time.
Yes, it does.
That it really precludes you from doing a lot of things, which is where I struggle because I like to be a jack of all trades. So I have to. So I don't play as much as I want, but I also don't watch as much as I want. So I'm kind of in that intermediary.
You guys are 100% making video games sounding like having a drug habit. It takes too much time. It takes too much time.
It is. He's got one more.
Talk about that time. I completely agree. But here's what I'll say. You pointed out that you have to wait. I think Charlie, you said this, that now we just wait and we see these things once a year. That's kind of crazy to me because you're right. Back in the day, how did they split up the seasons? Was it?
A show would come on in September. It would run through May, and then it would be off in the summer, and it would be back in September. So like
In
think
the
about
fall,
like
okay.
Frasier or Cheers. It'd be like, oh boy, Frasier got himself into a situation. We'll
Seinfeld.
find out about,
Seinfeld.
we'll find out about it in September. You know what I mean?
Okay, so that just made me think like one show that's taking forever, and where is this fifth and final season? Stranger Things.
Oh
My gosh,
God, that's really
like
bad. And I think they're breaking that up as well.
2025.
oh,
It's
they all,
2025, I believe.
That'll be three years. I
so
think.
like
Yeah.
this doesn't seem so bad to me. This once a year. So unfortunately, you guys can talk about it. I'll have no idea what you're talking
That's okay.
about when
That's
you
okay.
should-
We'll
yes,
we'll make
The
you
Boys.
like it and then make
Yes.
you have to find time to watch it when you're not around your children or
Yeah,
your wife,
it is
probably, because that's the problem. It is not
Extraordinarily
PG-13.
graphic program. Yeah, very, very graphic program. Oh my goodness. So I look forward to it. All right. Well, that takes us out of the news. Todd, time for me to get out that Fuber app, that feeble Uber app. The Geek Easy awaits down in Scugtown, Nastyville. Our ride has pulled up. It is a 72 Pinto with an AM radio. The guy turns on the dial, and I hear this advertisement.
Hey, Secret Friends Unite, let me tell you about Zencaster. We use them for our show, and now they're supporting us. Zencaster is now the all-in-one solution making podcasting easy. It's the ultimate web-based podcasting solution. Provides high-quality audio and video podcast production and hosting. With a full suite of professional tools, podcasters can seamlessly record, produce, and publish studio-quality content, all from one dashboard. Being a creator has never been easier. And we chose Zencaster because of the ease of use, high quality output, and it makes it super easy for our guests to come on. We had multiple solutions we tried before, and Zencaster has just been the best fit for us. Why Zencaster? It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencaster. Log in using your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. Record studio-quality sounds and up to 4K video with your guests. Feel a sense of zen knowing Zencaster's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. Have you ever worried what you sound like? Zencaster's post-production process makes you sound buttery smooth. It automatically removes those ums and ahs in your recording. It removes those awkward pauses in conversation too. Set the right podcast loudness and levels while reducing background noise with a click of a button. So if you're interested in making an easy, high-quality podcast just with the click of a browser button, go to Zencaster.com/pricing and use my code SFU1. You'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencaster paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experiences I do for all my podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story. Now back to the show.
Talk nerdy to me. Talk nerdy to me.
We're sitting in the Geek Easy. Cover band's playing, drinks are poured, and we are ready to get our nerd on. So, Dan, now we said it's what you watching or reading, but I don't know, apparently maybe what you've been eating.
What you been eating? What you been eating, buddy? What you been eating?
So I don't have anything too exciting to talk about what I've been watching because we watched a lot of Bravo. Been watching $1 Million. What's it called? $1 Million
Listing?
Move that bus. Isn't that what we were talking about earlier?
Real Housewives of Jersey is
Oh,
back.
wow.
Oh, God.
All those, guys, that's a lot of
Yeah.
what I consume. But I have to say, I did have Allie. We successfully watched the Fallout TV show. She watched the entire
it's so
thing with us.
good.
It is so good. I cannot believe this was my second time watching it. I watched it by myself, obviously, because she's.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can get her on for that. We finished it the second time, and I have to say, man, the show is so good just by itself in its own, little universe over there, its own Fallout story.
Yeah.
My one critique, they seem to force a lot there at the end, and that's when it was really getting interesting. So shout out to the Fallout TV show. What a show. Deserves all of the nominations that it has.
3 more years to get a second season. No, I'm just kidding. It'll be something like that. I know that that and The Last of Us in particular, that's April and I's favorite show. And we do not game. We do own the game, and we tried it a little while. April got stuck, and she's like, "I'm done."
Well,
And
Charlie, I'll
haven't
stop you
tried
right there. Charlie, you watched The Last of Us. You played the game. Like, it's a 1-for-1.
It was,
And
yeah.
That's why I really appreciate Fallout. It's its own
Right.
unique autonomous
Yes.
thing.
I
Love it.
and
Seemed
I
like,
watch
just
I
like
watch
Halo,
cuts-
Dan. It's doing its own thing.
Oh, Todd, quick sidebar. Halo officially canceled. I did see that headline a couple days ago.
Charlie's the
show.
only one that will care.
Oh,
Charlie liked
lost.
it because he doesn't
I
know
did.
Halo, so
I
he's like,
liked-
it's perfectly good.
I
That's
slept.
cool.
I slept my way through the second season. It was boring as shit, and now it's canceled. Yeah, but The Last of Us. I watch cutscenes. That's how I do video games. I watch cutscene movies. So I've watched.
I mean, The
Battlefront
Last
2,
of
I've
Us
watched
really
things
is a giant cutscene. Let's be
Yeah.
real, Todd. There's
Correct.
It was pretty great.
They hit it.
It's a lot-
Nobody
a lot
wants
of
to,
story with some gameplay.
nobody wants to go be rummaging through drawers finding things to make shivs. That is not awesome
look.
TV.
Oh, look, expired medication. Oh, look, half
Yes.
of a sandwich. How'd this get left here?
But apparently nobody wanted to watch Master Cheeks have sex. So I don't know what people want, Dan.
Don't get me started. You probably can't see it behind me up there, Charlie.
I see it.
There's a
I see
giant
it.
needler, and
I
I'm just
did.
like,
Oh my God.
why
Master
did you break our
Chiefs.
hearts, Halo?
Oh
Why?
my God.
Well,
You know what's
All
funny
right.
No,
though
the
is
good news-
Charlie seemed to enjoy it. My aunt, who's older, I don't want to say your age or anything. Don't worry.
Older than me.
Older than
Oh,
you
God.
guys. Yes, older than you guys. And she was really into it too. So some casuals, Todd, did appreciate whatever Halo's doing, but
Correct.
it's the
It was
hardcore audience.
his butt. That's probably what people
Oh,
appreciated.
oh, gosh.
Oh my God.
Anyway, sorry.
All right. Dan, you got anything
So-
else for us?
so-
Or yeah, please.
No, just really follow. What a
Cool.
show. Absolutely
So great.
fantastic. I do want to shout out anyone who's a fan of Walton Goggins, go watch Justified.
Yes.
Wally
Everybody
Goggs.
Go watch
I haven't seen- I
Justified.
need to see Justified.
And
Timothy
Timothy
Oliphant. Great things. about
Guys,
this.
I got
Go
to see it too.
wa-
Todd,
You
future
haven't-
watch.
both of
We
you.
should do it together.
you guys,
Get together.
oh my gosh, it is so good. Justified.
We
That's what
should
I've heard.
absolutely
That's
do
what I
it together.
Yeah.
All right, Todd. So moving on, you've got to be. I know there's only 5 episodes of it, but you got to be super
Yes.
light. Haven't
I'm
seen
going to
it
be
yet.
spoilery free about Cobra Kai. So, Cobra Kai season. Dan just left the building.
That's okay. I'm sure he'll be back.
No, he's got a kid thing probably.
Yeah.
But season 5 just kicked off, and I believe the way Netflix is doing this, they're giving us more episodes, but they're cutting it up in 5 episodes at a time. So
Oh,
we're starting
chunks.
to get 3
For- So
drops.
total of 15. Yeah, because I
Correct.
remember we had a trailer for it that
Yeah.
said, "Yeah, you get this, and then it'll be back in October or something like that." And then
November.
then
it's coming a week
2025
earlier
for
than it
part 3.
planned, so it's not coming Thanksgiving week. It's coming the week before. And so with that, or no, we're in season 6. Crap.
Yeah.
Where's time gone? So that's going
Oh,
to drop,
geez.
and then I think then
Right.
the last third is going to be dropping on, I think January or something like that. So essentially, they realize that giving everybody everything all at once means that you don't have to say subscribed.
Which is funny because they just dumped all of Prodigy, but because it's for kids, think about the way kids watch things. It's either binge it or it's nothing.
exactly.
Which
Yep.
is funny because if you listen to us over on Code 47, we're taking those 20 episodes, but we're breaking them up in chunks of 3 episodes each. So we're talking 3 episodes. So that way you will have watched it, but we've drawn it all out. So Dan, welcome back. Hopefully the disaster was averted. Nothing's on fire.
No, it's just our neighbors' twin daughters are here hanging out with our
Oh,
girls.
for God's
And our
sake.
dog, no, it's not them. It's our dog. We adopted the 7-year-old pit bull lab mix.
Oh Lord.
He just wants to play. He just wants to be a part of the
Yes,
show.
right.
And
Yes.
if he's not engaged, he loses his mind.
Oh,
And
shit.
he's the
Yes.
best, sweetest dog ever. But at the same time, please pay attention to me. Pay attention to me.
Edie.
Pay attention
Please
to me. Pay
love
attention to me. He
me.
just loses it. Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry about
Yeah.
that.
Oh my gosh.
No
That is-
problem.
that is
But yeah,
okay.
we're talking basically Cobra Kai season 6.
I haven't
Part
seen it.
1 came
So-
out. Okay.
Right.
So yeah, no spoilers here. But
Yep.
we did say that basically there's going to be 2 more drops of this. So the second set of 5 comes out in November, and then the last set of 5 is 2025. But this season, it feels like I'm hoping we're over the internal squabbles. We're over that, and it's really kind of coming up against a common foe. And
Let
the common
karate
foe
bring us
this
together.
season is the international tournament. That's where
Right.
this season is going to go. The Takai Katsai. They did bring back a person who was in the previous season very slightly, which is cool. They're promising other people will be back, which is very cool as well. And they're bringing in a thread about Mr. Miyagi. It was hinted in the trailer, and that is opening up a new thread of potential storylines too. I like what they're doing. It's fun. As always, it goes too fast. I'm really into it. Yeah, I love the series. Yes.
Todd, I just want to say, so I know of Cobra Kai because of
Oh,
the
no,
Karate
you haven't.
Kid,
Oh,
the
okay.
Karate Kid,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hot take. So you guys are 80s kids, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Big time.
Karate Kid, dare I say, overrated. I'm just gonna say it right now. I never understood.
Well,
I
you know
never
what?
understood the appeal of the Karate Kid, even
It's
though
the
his
same-
name is. I'm pretty sure his name is Daniel, just
Yeah.
like myself.
Daniel LaRusso,
It's the
yeah.
I
same
don't
thing.
understand. I've never
Yeah.
understood the Karate Kid.
It's the
appeal.
same thing for me with Top Gun, and I never felt that way so much until I saw the second one, which was a great
Thank
flick.
you. Oh, what a movie! Can we talk about Top Gun Maverick, Todd? For now,
We're
You
done
have to
talking
go
about
back-
Cobra Kai. We're
you
going
have
to
to
talk
go
about
back-
Maverick.
Charlie, how many times did you see it in IMAX like me? Did you go see the movie 7 times in the theaters? Like,
Oh my God, it was your Star Wars. No, I did not. We do. It is part. My wife and I do a watch-a-thon the 4th of July week, and that movie is now part of it. So I did see it just a
Awesome.
couple weeks ago.
Awesome,
Yeah,
makes me so happy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, talk about Lady Gaga bringing a song to life. And
Oh my
take
gosh.
she took our breath away. She took our breath away
I
with her
know.
song "Hold My Hand."
My breath-
But Dan, I totally get it. Even if you don't have, I mean, the movie it's Cobra Kai is completely like that 80s, like, hot riff, song, love, that little guy coming up. It's of a time. It totally is. I don't know if it holds
Mr.
up. I haven't
Miyagi?
watched it in years.
Mr.
Yes.
Miyagi, certified badass, right?
Pat Morita, yeah,
Certified.
absolutely amazing.
Certified fresh.
But what I would say is the series totally embraces what it was, and it totally changes it and makes it into like a
It makes it
soap opera.
relevant, right?
Yeah,
Does
it's
it
like
do
a
a good
soap
job?
opera. It's like a telenovela coming to life, man. It is amazing, fun, self-referential. They're enjoying themselves, and there's some good action fighting sequences. So, but it's like the next generation too, and they're bringing back characters from the
Right.
past. So it's like that perfect blend of just nostalgia plus updating it for new time with new audience. So
Yeah.
I really like it. And this is, if anybody doesn't remember, this was one of YouTube's like YouTube Red. This was one of their
Yeah, I remember
original
that,
creations.
yeah.
I wonder why that name didn't make it. YouTube Red.
The Red District.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There's some X. Yeah, there's some X involved. But yeah, so check out Cobra Kai if you like it. I went through 5 episodes very quickly, which, it is. It's a watch. It's a
Boom,
watch.
boom, boom.
It's like 40 minutes long per episode.
Yeah.
It's fun. There's always a cliffhanger. So you're like, ooh, what's going to happen next? I'm going to have to go in. And yeah,
Oh
it's
my
fun.
gosh.
Something that is, you don't go into spoilers for this either. Acolyte season finale happened.
Yep.
Of course, we're going to get a season 2 because if Star Wars likes anything, it's like we can't tell a story. We
Right.
always have to leave it open. We have to fill in all the details. We have to tell every character's backstory. We have to do these things. And, why we need to have all these questions answered. I'm like, not every question needs to be answered. Not every question is worth an answer.
It was interesting. I missed, if I can chime in, doing this breakdown with Mark over in Holocron. I was ill that night. He had a guest on. They still had a good 90-minute conversation about it. I would recommend that you tune in because we had two very disparate points of view. The guest, not a fan. Mark loves Star Wars and always has great things to say. I land somewhere in the middle.
Wait.
Yes, please.
You're referring to Mark. Has he ever really critiqued Star Wars? Because you said he always has something good to say. Does he hold Star Wars accountable at times? I need to know this.
I will not answer that question because I don't want
Not really.
because Mark is my co-host. I don't want to.
Okay.
I don't want to.
Okay.
I don't want to
Mark
trash him.
Mark finds
He's like Jose,
answers where
finds
no one
joy.
else can.
Just finds
Right.
joy in everything.
He's the. I give him a title now. He's the Star Wars sleuth. He finds clues to answers, like Todd said, where other people will not. So he digs a little deeper.
I'm going to say he is the Major Nelson of Star Wars.
like from
No,
from
Major
Ice
Nelson
Genie?
is like the community leader of X. Well, used to be. So basically, never points to where Xbox is doing bad. Kind of just focuses on the positive.
We have
So
a
Mark
product.
always
We
focuses
have
on
a
the
product
positive.
for you, Todd.
Yeah,
And it's
exactly.
the Acolyte. This is for
Exactly.
you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So Todd, briefly, it was like, where were we at with the Acolyte? How did it end
So-
for you?
To me, kind of ended in a spot where I felt like they were going to go anywhere, where they added kind of a cameo that is the member berries.
Yeah,
To me, felt
annoyed me.
yeah,
Annoyed
that's
me.
exactly what they're gonna do. This show had no real surprises. It kind of led you down the path. Even when you thought they were gonna zag, they didn't.
Yeah,
They're like, well, no, we could have done the weird thing, but no, we're not going to. We're gonna go to the obvious path.
right.
And I just felt like it was more of the same with Star Wars these days. It's okay. It's not the worst. It's not the best. It's just middle of the road. And
It
to me,
was.
It
I
Yeah,
hate
exists.
that. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I hate that Star Wars is just okay now. It
Yeah.
used to be the biggest thing. It blew you away. It was epic. And now it's just everywhere. It's the USA Today of science fiction. As I've said
Yeah.
it is what you get for free. Everybody reads it.
It gets.
Nobody ever says
Yeah.
USA Today never gets a Pulitzer. Let's
Yeah.
just put it that way. It gets delivered. It's part of your Holiday Inn
Right. So,
stay.
so you're
Charlie-
saying that Star Wars has turned into Star Trek, which Star Trek
Oh.
peaks and valleys,
Mm.
but there's a lot of it that's very like episode of Voyager starts out doing this. We got a middle part here. We got 7 minutes to come to a conclusion. Let's jump to it, and then the episode's
Yeah.
over.
Star Wars is like it's and Daniel understand this. Like I say with X-Men, the franchises, there's two good ones, then there's two subpar ones.
2 step
Two good
forward,
ones.
2 step back. 2 step forward.
Star
2
Wars
step
is
back.
like there's one good one, there's like 3 mediocre. There's a one bad one, really bad one, and then there's a really good one because it's like, oh, The Force Awakens. Solo down
Jedi.
here for me.
And and
Last
then all
Jedi.
the way
Then you
down
got
to Rise of
Mando.
Skywalker.
And then you get some other things, and then you get Andor, and so it's like
Wait.
that's kind of where we're at.
Here's okay. Here's where I'm with Star Wars. I watched Boba Fett. I don't know why.
no.
I don't know
No.
why I watched that. I did watch all of Boba Fett, and that's where
Yes.
I stopped.
Boba
have
Fett.
not
Are you talking
seen-
about the fact that he's so chubby? Are we
really-
body shaming?
I had
How
watched.
did he gain all that weight in that Rancor pit?
He gained all the weight inside the Sarlacc. He must have been just like, "Mar, mar, mar." How did he do that?
Getting the leftovers.
Yeah.
Loved Mandalorian, but again,
Yes.
I see the flaws in Mando. There were some
Yeah.
highs and lows, member
Yeah.
berries, but when the member berries hit, man, I was all aboard.
But he hit hard.
You
Okay,
were on board the Memberberry train. Yes.
watched
Yes.
Ahsoka, and and Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan.
Both to me, I was a little disappointed with Obi-Wan. I remember that
Yes.
exists.
Yeah.
That one random fight, by the way, in the flames, I was like, why don't you just go around the fire? I just couldn't help
Can't do it
thinking
yet.
that the
Can't do
whole
it.
the whole time. I'm like,
Because it was a big circle.
I was
Yeah.
like, just go. Anyway, and then I stopped after Ahsoka, so I know nothing about the Acolyte. I missed out on Andor. I hear Andor is supposed to be pretty
it's
Andor's
the
good.
thing-
amazing.
It's the thing you need to watch. If
Okay,
any- yeah.
so but is it good because everybody loves Rogue One, or is
No.
this
No.
going to be good
No.
because it's a good?
It's good. It's
okay.
good because it's good, which it doesn't happen all the time in Star Wars.
Typically, unfortunately, I just say this, I think having Star Wars in the front of Andor makes people think it's not. It actually is maybe more detrimental to Andor.
Oh,
than-
it's Star Wars. Skip. Yeah.
Well,
Oh, boy.
exactly. This is like Game of Thrones Star Wars, where it's like it's playing its own game.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Right.
But
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
So Dan, check out Andor.
Yes,
I
please.
think you'll enjoy it. It's a slow burn though. I would say that you got to give it to like episode. I know this is horrible. 4 or 5.
yeah, halfway. Which is that
I know
sucks.
it's horrible.
That
it's
sucks. You're
horrible.
like, oh, just stick in there and watch half of it. That sucks.
I gave up on
Hey,
it twice.
you know
Dan.
what,
I gave up
Todd?
on it
You know what
twice.
you need to stick with is Hellblade 2. You need to stick with it. You hate that.
I watched it. I watched
gotta
the
watch-
whole thing.
watch
Dan.
it
I
like
watched
watch it like
That's like
9
watching-
times.
I mean, that's
9
like
times.
watching
Is,
The Last
that's
of
the
Us.
number.
Okay. So there you go. That's our recommendation.
Wait,
it was
what-
okay.
Acolyte though is I don't even know what it's about. So should I stay with
Oh.
it and then just experience it on my own? Because
Why-
I honestly
It's
have
the first.
no idea.
It's the
what it
first
is.
canonical Star Wars movie
Show.
show there's ever been. It's about basically the beginning of the fall of the Jedi. They're kind of becoming a little bit too big for their britches,
Yep.
and some of their secrets from the past come back to haunt them.
Yep.
And then it
Where
becomes
is this in
basically
the
a murder
timeline?
mystery.
100
How many
years,
years?
100 years
years.
prior to the sequels. Yeah.
Okay.
Or the prequels.
The prequels, yeah.
Yeah.
So the majority of these characters will be characters you've never heard of. So
Yep.
there's very little like early on to worry about like having to know anything.
Right.
But I will say then there's super heavy lore though that's in there too. That's like I need to go to Wikipedia to understand like what the hell does this mean? Which
Yep.
annoys me because it's like, guys, that's not how you got to do it, guys. But it is by the woman who made Russian Doll. So
Yes.
she does bring a different perspective. And Dan, I will say for Star Wars, it's got some of the best fight scenes and choreography.
I've heard the
Yeah,
fight scenes.
so
That's
it's
really
well
that's
worth it
really
there.
where they hit
Yeah.
it. All right,
Yeah.
let's talk about the boys. We already teased a little in the previous segment, but we got 2 years to wait for the conclusion of the fact that everything went crazy.
But it's ending. Season 5 is the last season. Season 4 is really the building all the pieces up. And this season, well, I know a lot of people have been wishy-washy about it. It ended on a high note because I'm like, holy crap.
Right.
It's bringing elements of Gen V in, which I thought was very cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely that last big set piece before we went to the montage when our characters were understandably going their own separate ways.
Yes.
April and I were both jaw on the ground. Did not see that coming. Just a massive won't say for anybody who's not tuned in yet. But holy cow, just did not see that coming. You thought things were going in a certain direction, and then they were not. I'll just put it to you like that, yeah.
And we have the return of, at the very end, return of one character that I'm glad that character is coming back. And wow, yeah, I don't know where things are going, but it's going to be crazy with season 5.
Exactly. Good stuff. Like I said, so you got 2 years, Daniel, to tune into the boys and maybe the Acolyte, but I would put that at the bottom of your stack. That's all I would say.
I agree.
I hope that
you can watch it with the kids.
I hope.
See, but I'm big into Star Wars. But you're right. I've heard nothing but good thing about the boys. I gotta make.
Have you seen the trailer for it?
For the boys?
Probably.
No, for Acolyte.
No, I've seen nothing for the Acolyte. Surprisingly,
Wow.
Watch the trailer. Watch the trailer.
Worst case, at the end of the day, watch a recap video. that might be as much as you need to get yourself through.
Might be worth your time.
Might be. All right. We talked a lot, so I'm going to go kind of quickly in the spirit of our fantasy movie league, which we do. Dan, just so you know, myself, Todd, and our third couch roommate, Jonathan, who goes by Jay these days. He lives out on the West Coast. We have since 2016. We have a top 10 movie league where we compete where what placers are and where they place. And so we all put this movie probably in our bottom 10. And at this point, it might end up being in the high 10 in this regard. So it is, I'm going to kill time while Todd's walking around. Oh, no. Now
he's
I know.
bringing out the trophy. He's got the trophy, huh? Nope.
This is the trophy of the movie competition.
The trophy.
Caesar,
the
from
trophy,
Shadows of the Empire.
The trophy has its own origin story, but you'll have to go back and listen. If you jump back,
I'll go back and listen to that.
If you jump back several weeks, you'll get the origin story. But anyway, this week's movie selection was Twisters. It was funny. April was looking it up on her phone as we were driving away. It's a non-sequel continuation in universe of people who chase Twisters. So it was, it's in real time, has to do with a young lady who, as a grad student, chased Twisters, and there was an accident and some people died, and then you jump forward 5 years and she gets pulled back into the Twister chasing game, and then Glenn Powell is there and he's beautiful and you're looking at him most of the time, myself included. And they got to find a way to blow basically. What was it that Trump said? To fire a nuclear missile into a tornado?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Wait.
I'm sorry, big spoiler. That's how it ends.
Charlie, is this the origin story of Hangman? Is that what this movie is about?
Oh, right. Yeah, you're right. He leaves from this and then joins the Navy and becomes one of its top pilots. It's incredible.
Apparently, he's like, I beat nature. Now I'm going to beat the Russians.
or whatever.
Mabovia, whatever that
Country that shall
yeah.
not be named. Yeah.
Malobia,
Yes.
yeah. Mabovia, whoever has the
Fallopian?
Fallopionus. But yeah, this movie is exactly what you expect. It's silly, very little basis in reality. It's funny. I have news person at or a weather person at a one of the TV stations in Lansing is a member of our Star Trek fan club chapter, who was really very into this, and she said, yep, fun movie, science doesn't really check out, but go have a good time. And I think that that's very accurate, and it's looking to track about 80 million for the weekend, which, Todd, that puts it up probably higher than we estimated, because things are tracking in weird numbers this
So
summer,
how do you
I'll
get
tell
points though? Is it on box office money?
It is
or-
domestic box office ranked.
Okay.
Yeah, so when it's all said and done, we rank.
Cool.
And Todd used a kind of an elaborate scoring system that he stole off of some other game. And it's good times. But yeah, Todd, are you going to go?
It's a lot of fun, Dan. We are always looking for more people to join us.
No,
for
it's
fun.
it's cool. It sounds like it's obviously like, fantasy critic with the video games and fantasy football.
It's
which
just
is
all
like-
about box office. So it's just
that is
closer
who
you
got
get to-
Deadpool and Wolverine? Who drafted it? Who got it? Wow,
oh no, there's no draft. You just pick,
choose.
and then we all. There's no draft.
However,
you just pick your
Everyone's
order.
it's funny
Pick
that
whatever.
you should mention that, because
Correct.
I am the only one of three of us who has predicted Deadpool and Wolverine will go all the way. Yeah, I'm the
So
only
we made
one.
it easy, but you know what? That is something we could do, like just a straight version, Charlie, and we could do like hey, we pick the order, and then it's like an NFL draft where you basically I draft Wolverine, Deadpool, and then the next person. So basically, you're limiting your choices. So it could be fun. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll revisit.
Oh
that
no,
next
just
year.
stick with what you're doing. Yeah, I'd have to.
I mean, we could do it. We could do two versions of it, and the second one could just be for fun. We'll see what happens. But anyway, Todd, are you going to check this out or wait?
I haven't even seen the original Twisters. I have no interest in people.
Dude,
being
are you-
left-
Whoa, dude! Summer of
Oh.
'96.
Yeah,
Didn't
dude,
see
Todd,
that.
I gotta say, I'm not like a huge Twisters fan or anything, Charlie, but I remember that movie. That was like a
absolutely.
phenomenon. And like,
Todd, we were in school back
dude,
then, so I figured we
Todd,
would have even seen it
I'm
together.
shocked you'd never saw.
I saw the trailer. I'm like,
original Twister.
that's a skip. That is
Whoa.
a skip.
Todd, the movie critic, his tagline,
Even the
that's
cow,
a skip. It
even the
stinks.
Ow, in the Twister in full CGI. I like, yep, that happened.
I feel
Yeah.
like, Charlie, the CGI was good, and the ending scene is memorable. Like, I remember, I'm like, this is cool. Oh my gosh, they did this.
And
you
it's
know?
funny because at the beginning of this film, direct connection between the end of the last film and the beginning of this film with Dorothy, which is a little container with all little things. That's what she has at the beginning 5 years in the past as a grad student. She
Unless
has
there's a
90s
shark
tech.
in that Twister,
right.
I don't care.
Shoot a nuclear weapon into it. That's Hangman. Should have shown up at the end and been like, I got it. Click.
Todd, you should watch the original Twister.
Yeah, come on, Todd.
Yeah, I think you should. Honestly,
Apparently, well, I mean, it did so much for Helen Hunt's career. I mean,
yeah,
it's been
it
things
did.
all the time.
She was
that
en
was looking
fuego.
great.
She was mad about
Yeah.
you and Twisters.
Mad about Twisters.
And Bill, is it Bill Paxton? Who's
Yeah, he
Bill
passed.
Paxton,
Yeah,
that's correct.
yeah, passed. Yeah.
No,
So-
I mean Bill. I love
Yeah.
Bill Paxton.
He
especially
would-
Battled
he was
Aliens.
Edge of Tomorrow. Edge of Tomorrow, his greatest role, right?
Edge of Tomorrow is a fantastic film.
Yes.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's
All
the,
right, kids.
That's the Tom Cruise one, Charlie.
Oh, very
Charlie,
good.
you haven't seen Edge of Tomorrow?
No, because I hate Tom Cruise.
Tom-
Really hate him a lot.
No, you don't. You love him now, Charlie.
No, I do not. Don't tell me what I love.
Yeah. Okay.
I tolerate him sometimes.
Charlie,
Edge
you
of
gotta go
Tomorrow
watch
is
Edge of
amazing.
Tomorrow. Yeah, you got to go
It
watch
is
Edge of Tomorrow.
amazing.
And Todd, you got to go watch Twister.
Oh my God. All right.
Apparently,
Well,
Dan, Vanilla Sky or Twister?
oh
I-
no.
Vanilla
Let's
Sky.
be
Vanilla
choice.
Sky. Vanilla Sky.
Okay,
Let's
there
be
you go.
choice.
See, there you go.
All right, kids. I gotta wrangle some managerial control here, so we're gonna wrap it up. But that is the outro to the Geekies. We got to get out of here. Todd, we're skipping out on the bill because we always do. Got to get out that Air Qantas app. The Land Down Under, Hologram Tina, and the Mutants await for us to finish the recap portion of the Summer of X with Deadpool 2. Let's do it.
Welcome
Thank you, Tina. The mutants have been gathered for a topic or a game to be entertained. And this week, we're finishing the Summer of X Part 7. We have finished this fight with Deadpool 2. My goodness. This movie came out May 10th, 2018. It was a budget of 110 million, made 785. So once again, R-rated films doing very well with Fox. They found a formula. They loved it. This was directed by David Leitch, which is a different director than the first two films. And
You mean the first film? This is the second
film. Yeah, the first film. Yeah.
You lost me.
Details. But David Leitch, I was looking at his filmography. He directed John Wick. Well, uncredited director, but he produced John Wick, Atomic Blonde. Then he did Hobbs and Shaw, which I always laughed at Hobbs and Shaw. It was the first Fast and Furious movie I ever saw. Then Bullet Train, which I absolutely adored. Not everybody did, but I think it's a solid, fun film. And then The Fall Guy, which I absolutely. So David Leitch.
Totally. Oh, that was him, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that
director.
was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then the cast, the new ones: Josh Brolin playing Cable, Julian Dennison, Fire Fist, aka and New Zealand kid.
He's the
Domino.
Wilder People kid. That's who he was. Yeah.
That's right, Fire Fist. That's right. Leslie Uggams, Karen Sony coming back as Blind Alan Depinder. Also, Negasonic Teenage Warhead is back. We got Jack Kesey playing Black Tom. Eddie Marson, the creepy headmaster. We've got Shiolo Katsuna playing Yukio. Hi, Yukio. Stefan Kepasik, Colossus back again. Randall Reeder as Buck, who told him basically you can't talk anymore.
Shut up, Fat Gandalf.
Wuzijic, head orderly Fry with weird sex lips, I think is what he called him. Thayer Harris is Sergei Velishnikov. Yeah. Rob Delaney is Peter, which is hilarious. And Louis Mann as Shatterstar. There's a few others in there as well as part of Team X-Force, but we'll talk about them later. But the plot: Falmouth mutant mercenary Wade Wilson assembles a team of fellow mutant rogues to protect a young boy with abilities from the brutal time-traveling cyborg Cable. So there you go. We're up to speed. And you get this in Disney Plus and many other services. There we go. And by the way, stay till the end. If you're on Disney Plus, scroll through, watch the credits for the extra credit scene.
Right.
Dan, did you do it?
What was the extra credit scene? Oh,
it was
first of all,
the time device. Where Deadpool used the time device.
The time device is the whole. It's the whole plot line of the new film. Yeah.
Here's the thing I'm mad about now. I didn't know this was on Disney Plus. I own Disney Plus.
What?
I paid $5 to rent this on
Amazon.
And the other thing is, of course, you can purchase it digitally, and then it is still, if you go to an Amazon or God forbid Walmart, you can still purchase it physically. Is it on? It is on Disney Plus, isn't it?
Oh yeah, because now Disney Plus is age gated with their Hulu content.
Yeah.
It's age gated. Yeah. Everything. I don't think there's anything left. Maybe New Mutants that is not on Disney Plus.
Gotcha.
Maybe.
Gotcha.
And then just a fun fact, if you do ever are curious, and I am curious, and I'm going to check it out eventually, is there was a cut of this movie called Once Upon a Deadpool.
Yes, I've seen it.
And it is essentially a PG-13 version of this film with Fred Savage and Deadpool. I've always wanted to see how they pulled it off. I heard it's not very good, but still I'm curious.
I don't recall it being very good, but
okay. Yeah. Well, let's get into this film. So this film basically kicks it off right after the end of Deadpool 2. Wade's in love, doing the good thing, killing all the bad guys, having a good time. And typically when that happens, something will change, and something.
What goes up must come down. Yes, his fortunes.
So guys, he tried to knock off, got away, and essentially found out where he lived. And spoilers abound. Sorry, folks. We get Vanessa. Unfortunately, Deadpool not being able to save her, and that leads Wade down a flashback, and then back in basically in pieces. Then basically decides that he's going to find his place with the X-Men with a new family. The
trainee.
Yes, trainee. Right. And that kind of kicks us off to the main point of this movie, where the first mission with Wade being involved essentially leads him to find a kid at this Institute for Rehabilitation of Mutant Kids, and his name's Fire Fist. and we get this great, initial Wade being a good guy, and the X-Men kind of getting their butt kicked, and that kind of leads us down the next path. So, unfortunately, also means that Wade goes down a dark path because he finds out the kid, had been abused, and he kills a couple people, and that sends him to jail. So
Right.
that's where it kicks off. So
goes to jail and meets Black Tom.
Yes. So with this, I mean, I like the fact that it picked up right away. It got us really deep quickly into the main promise of the story, where it was going to be, and essentially, going on finding his own redemption. Now he's kind of out of trying to find his place with Vanessa being gone. And then there's this ongoing thing about him dying and seeing Vanessa in the afterlife, and basically him getting lessons handed to him that basically will lead him where he wants to. Basically, your heart's in the wrong place, and his heart is going to be with the X-Men. So it kind of led him there. So I will not steal this whole conversation. So at this point, after just watching Deadpool 1, getting back into this, it really made me feel happy. Dan, what about yourself? I know you had not seen Deadpool 2 in a while. What'd you think?
So here's what I think, you guys.
Yeah.
I had seen the original. I had seen this once before. I haven't seen it since. That should tell you something. I'm just going to say this right now.
Did you not like it originally?
I'll just start by saying that I wish I would have been here for the X2, the Days of Future Past, or hell, even X-Men 3. Because
really? Burned you that bad, huh? Well,
I feel like this movie is fine. I don't think it's as good as the first one. And watching it again, I'm like, man, this is more violent than I remember. Yes. And I don't know if I don't know why. I guess more aware because I have small kids now, but I'm like, definitely more violent. It had its moments where I chuckled, but I feel like overall, for some reason, the first one hit with me more because I guess I hadn't seen anything and I didn't know much more about Wade and Deadpool. And I still don't in general, but I just feel like the first one, and I'm looking at IMDb right now, it is rated higher on IMDb than Deadpool 2.
Okay.
And I would have to agree. It's, to me, I got to ask you guys, is this a good movie? Is this a good superhero movie? I don't know. I'm kind of torn on it. Like, I don't think I have any desire to see it again. I'm excited to see Deadpool and Wolverine, but is that because I'm more interested to see Wolverine, or am I more interested to see more Deadpool and
that's
Wolverine,
a good point.
That's
a good point. Yeah, and see how they click together, because there's no precedent of them on screen together.
Yes.
This is
there's a whole dynamic of Ryan and Hugh being actually friends.
Right, which is why I'm hoping this will push the film all the way up to number 1 for the summer. But it's an ongoing string of funny ha-has. There's some seriousness in it, obviously, with the stuff with Cable. We get Josh Brolin introduced as Cable. He's on a mission.
I like Cable.
Yeah, in the distant future, the Fire Fist, the Kiwi kid, kills. I'm just going to call him the Kiwi kid. I like that better.
Yeah, that's good.
The Kiwi kid does kill Cable's family in the distant future, and so Cable comes back to basically Sarah Connor Terminator him, and Wade gets in the way, and they struggle over that, and in the end Wade goes to sacrifice himself, but that's when we get into trouble with Cable's gizmo, which is the time turner. And then that's how Wade discovers that his family is really the two X-Men, the three X-Men we actually meet in this, which is an ongoing gag. And we see that when Wade is recuperating emotionally in the mansion, and he says, why don't they throw us a bone with a couple of the other X-Men? And they go behind him, and it's closing the door, and it's the other one.
It's at 23:45. All of the X-Men. I even wrote that down. I have notes. Todd didn't think I was going to take this serious. I have taken serious notes, so I can go through. But yes, at 23:45, perfect. And that's what I was wondering too, Charlie. Why don't they give? Why are we only seeing these?
I think it just turns into a joke. It was a great gag.
I think it was intentional.
Both of these films, I think, are really predicated and a lot of self-referential humor,
it is like
poking at their franchise.
Yeah.
I mean, look at how they started off, because obviously we watched Logan last week, where the very first thing Deadpool says is, "Fuck Wolverine. He stole my R rating, and I'm gonna steal his thunder by dying," because that's what he did in Logan, and he tries to blow himself up. And
great little music box. That was a great scene. Yes.
Yeah. I did like the music box, and if I could get my hand, you could make one of those. You need a piece of wood and a Logan figure, and just engineer it a little bit. But these I don't think there's anything about these films except for very brief bits and pieces, like I see what Todd's typing on our flow now. Prison wallet, absolutely. Like I need more hepatitis.
I love that line, prison wallet.
Oh my god,
I hear you back there.
Oh my god. But no, I really think that these films with rare breakout moments of the emotional core, like the out of body experience Wade's having talking to Vanessa and the Great Beyond, and then when he figures out that he does the sacrifice, but then he comes back and realizes his family was there all along. You get a few breakout moments of seriousness, but other than that, it's gag to gag. That's really what they're going for. Both films are the same. I would say I like this one a little bit more than the first one. I was having more fun with it, because you got more characters who are sillier. Like the Domino character is very silly. You get TJ Miller before his career self-destructed. I thought Josh Brolin.
What happened to TJ Miller?
Oh, it's bad, and I don't remember all the details.
I was going to say Defender and him are like some of the best parts to me, and Domino too. I do agree. Domino is great. I love Domino a lot. Yeah. Oh no, you're breaking my heart.
Yeah, TJ Miller he's gone forever because he did something terrible. I'm not exactly sure, but
some bad stuff.
Oh no.
To significant others, and
he did some bad stuff. So
I was gonna say I think this movie, I could see where it's too over the top for a lot of people. It's like oh my god, it's like where's the balance? Yeah,
a lot of Wade when he's Deadpool. I didn't realize that he is referencing other movies all the time. Whenever he speaks, I wrote that in my notes. I'm like, there are so many references, way more than I remember. Like,
take it easy, pump the brakes, Fox and Friends. I like that one.
Sorry, Todd. Go ahead. I just want to
say,
no,
you're absolutely right.
Like over the topness. Yeah,
it's gonna be definitely feel like it's time of the time versus timeless.
Yeah,
if you go back and review this, definitely. But the character in the comics is exactly like that, though. It's like he's constantly like referencing pop culture, breaking the fourth wall. So, but to a lot of people, it's like it feels like it's overly trying. It's like it can feel like a try hard, as my son would say.
Try hard. Which one of the Die Hard movies was that? Die Hard, Try Hard? Was that the fifth one?
The one with probably
Die Hard
with Jai Courtney. The last one.
Yeah, the one with Jai Courtney with his son that was absolutely horrible. Where
that was Try Hard. That was Try Hard. Yeah,
that was Try Hard. Yeah, it was bad. But my son was watching this and he was like, "Dad, I like this one better because it wasn't tied to flashbacks or telling. It kind of told one story versus kind of like being split between old and the past,
right?
Old and new.
That's true.
But he enjoyed it quite a bit. We laughed a lot about a lot of the jokes just because we're goofy, dudes having fun time.
Yeah.
But I did like a lot of the set pieces. Like the prison set piece was very good.
Yeah.
Some of the battles between Wade and Cable. And I loved how they brought in Cable and his abilities. And he was just a great foil for Wade. Yes.
And this was I should say this was at the same time that Josh Brolin was also doing Thanos, because this came out.
Yeah. And that even mentioned Thanos.
Exactly. Yeah. Which I thought was great. He got a Winter Soldier arm and then Thanos gets a name drop. Yes. So it was pretty perfect. So Dan, please.
Oh yeah. I was just going to ask, what are Cable's powers exactly? I know he can travel through time, but what are his actual mutant powers?
So he is the son of Scott Summers and Madeline Pryor, which was the clone of Jean Grey.
Like in X-Men 97.
I did not know that.
So he has and you need to watch X-Men 97, Dan. Come on.
Really? You're an X-Men guy. Haven't watched 97?
I know.
So good.
The time.
The old X-Men series. Just watch X-Men 97.
I know. Todd and I have had this discussion. He's like, Dan, you don't need to watch the other ones. You don't even have to watch a recap. Just watch X-Men 97.
And I'm sorry. I know. You can watch it with your kids, which is very important. As an adult with children.
But sorry. I didn't know that.
Exactly. How are you supposed to know? Nobody should know this stuff. It's just too in the weeds. It's wiki. Cable was then sent to the future because he had a techno-organic virus and he was basically going to be cured. That's why he has the metal arm. He has the telekinetic abilities of basically Jean Grey.
Yeah.
So that's his main ability. So like you could see he could bring his weapon back to him.
Meow. Right.
So he had basically that ability, but he's also a soldier from the future. So he's got a little bit of there. So he and Bishop are kind of like contemporaries in a lot of ways.
Right.
So
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
So yeah,
So
that's his thing.
quickly
Yeah.
on when Cable arrives, do you know the Easter egg in that scene?
With it was
Twitter?
the Matt Damon and
Yes, I had
and
no
Alan
idea.
Tudyk, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I had no idea that was Matt Damon, and the only reason I knew that is
What?
because
That was Matt Damon?
yes,
didn't know?
he's the main hick
Oh,
talking
yeah.
there, the redneck.
was-
Oh, I thought, and the other guy was the other guy.
It's
What's his
Tudyk.
name?
It's
Yeah.
Tudyk, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I couldn't tell who the other guy was. I knew that was Tudyk, but I couldn't tell if that was.
That was news at the time, so I
No.
remember.
See, I had no idea. And the reason I knew it, shout out to Amazon. I was watching the whole thing with the like
Ah,
X-ray.
the
with
Oh,
the
and
showing
the
the-
X-ray.
So I've got some more.
Thank
cool
you,
stuff for
X-ray.
you.
Yeah.
I like
yes.
it.
Yeah. So
Shout out to Matt Damon.
basically, the whole premise is Fire Fist, in the future becomes horrible because he kills the headmaster and makes him, crave death and
And
things
he's
like
just
that.
become,
So that,
murderous rage. Yeah.
yeah. So that's the whole thing. That's why. Oh, go ahead.
Did Deadpool really create X-Force?
In
the
No, Cable actually created X-Force.
Right, that was his
Okay.
book. Yeah.
Deadpool's first appearance was in New Mutants '98,
Correct.
which, yes, long story. He even
Okay.
talked about.
I was just
yeah.
wondering because that's. I mean, it looks like in the movie, Deadpool's the one creating the X-Force. but
Right. Yeah,
that's
that
what it
is
was, yeah.
Okay.
because it was part of their silly license, the same way that, Colossus was not the leader of the X-Men and stuff. They took their liberties in making this film.
What do you mean the license and with Colossus? Explain that to me.
Well, just they're taking a little creative license, which saying, how we don't see any X-Men except for him
Okay.
and the Negasana teenage longest name ever. Chick,
Yeah.
and Yukio, I don't know if she's not a big part of anything. I'm sure.
And Logan asked, like,
adorable.
what's her power? I'm like, I don't remember what her power is because there's so many X-Men. There are
Right.
a million X-Men, so who knows?
And is there a reason why this X-Men is a different X-Men from the Fox X-Men movies, or is that just
I think it's just for it's just for gay.
Okay.
Because even there's a Colossus that is in X3, and then you see him in Days of Future Past. That's Daniel Cudmore. This is just the voice of Stefan.
Yeah.
What's a Russianic guy? What's his name
I was
again?
wondering.
Oh, Stefan Kapiknik.
Yeah.
Yes. Kapikik, whatever. Okay, it's that guy, but he's CGI. So, but
and Yukio was a part of Wolverine's backstory. That's where he was brought in, but her powers are not really that known. So,
Gotcha.
So there is a lot of things here. So if you're a casual X-Men fan, not reading the comics, things like that, or you like tangentially, there's going to be a lot of people like, who is that? What are they? Totally, get it.
Right.
It's meant to be that way. Even I'm like, who's that guy? Like, I like the fact that when they're in prison, Black Tom Cassidy shows up, and Black Tom Cassidy is this like throwaway character in X-Men that is buddies with Juggernaut. Black Tom Cassidy's powers, he can control wood. I mean, that's how dumb he is, and he's Irish. His name is Black Tom Cassidy,
and he's not black, but that's the gag. Like, I don't judge people by the color of their skin.
I think he's Banshee's like half brother or
yes,
something.
Correct.
Yes.
Yep. I remember this from, the Marvel team up issues and stuff that they've been in, whatever it is. But yeah, the Juggernaut was fun. This was the Juggernaut that I always wanted, at least scale wise, even though he's very jokey, and rude. And I think isn't he actually voiced by Ryan Reynolds in
Was he?
I think he might have been. It's something like that because it was a CGI character because he's, 11 feet tall or whatever. But yeah, he's, in the comics, he's much more serious. And even though he's a little rough around the edges, kind of a redneck, where in this, he's just straight up jokey.
And they even mentioned that he is the brother of Xavier.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Stepbrother. I do love how he is defeated by Colossus by shoving a live wire in his asshole. That's the departure.
Thank you, Charlie. You're keeping it good for the kids.
You're welcome. In his ouchie back door spot. I don't know. It's prison wallet.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah. Let's add a little class to this joint.
There you go. Whatever you want.
Yeah. So I mean, so we do get some great battles with all of this. We get essentially the second half of the story, which is Wade as we get Fire Fist befriending Juggernaut as he says, "Hey, you have to befriend the biggest guy in the joint," which I thought was hilarious when the kid was basically trying to protect Deadpool, and he was like, "Oh yeah, let's go." And he keeps getting popped in the head.
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah, and again, once again, another Deadpool fighting moment where he is, just having a good time, good battle with Cable. I thought some of the battle scenes
it was fun. Yeah.
Cable was a highlight. I will agree.
Yeah.
Cable.
Right.
I even wrote that in my notes. I said Josh Brolin is one sweet, cool ass dude, and he
Does
is.
Oh, yeah.
Josh
account for
Brolin
it.
is just.
Yeah.
He enjoys
Speaking
the
of
role.
Josh Brolin, another fun fact: when Deadpool has his legs torn off by Juggernaut, he's hanging out at the old place with Blind Al, and during the scene, he was wearing the same shirt that Chunk was wearing in the
Right.
Goonies
What?
in
Yes.
1985, which also
Yes.
starred Josh Brolin. And Ryan Reynolds said that Josh Brolin didn't even notice it was the
Oh,
same.
how funny.
That's a good one.
funny. That's
a good one.
Good. Yeah, I love it when we have a guest who really brings his A game. Nice work. Nice work.
And
Top
did his
shelf.
homework. My goodness.
I have some more too. I have another
Oh,
one.
okay.
All right.
So that leads us to the fact that yes, they tried to basically they bring in X-Force, right?
Right.
So Deadpool recruits X-Force. Weasel is basically trying to find a team. It's a pretty good mix of like real characters, not real characters,
Yeah,
like
right.
Vanisher.
I learned
Yeah.
that these were
Yeah.
like real one-off X.
Yes.
They were
Right.
in X-Men. correct?
Shatterstar.
Oh,
and
Shatterstar. My son's like, is he real? I'm like, yes, he is. What is
Yeah.
his powers? He's just very good at fighting.
Yeah. Oh, we found something you're not good at. Yeah, because all of X-Force dies horribly during the skydiving because they're attacking a convoy that where the Kiwi kid is, and Cable's doing the same. They're trying to stop him. But yeah, they all die. I mean, it's really awful. And the recruitment scene is great when he's like, we're putting a team together, and they just do a want ad, and then they do ad hoc interviews. And yeah, we get Terry Crews, we get Peter Skarsgård, or one of the Skarsgårds, the one who was the Pennywise.
Yes.
We get him. And he's awful. Yeah, he spits vomit, and that goes wrong because he kills poor Sugar Bear, the guy with no powers who shows up.
Peter. Yeah, Peter just thought it would be fun to show up and be part of the team.
Oh my gosh.
And then Domino, I love Domino coming because she's basically a very good
One of the highlights,
Yeah.
She's just great because she basically says up my power is luck, and he's like, no, it isn't. That is not a power. That is not a luck. That is. He goes, yes, it is. And so
just what? Yeah, because everything goes her way. Someone trips and breaks their neck, or
it's like Final Destination. Her power is Final Destination.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Her power is that 19 film series with logs falling off the truck and stuff. So
I did want to shout out, Charlie, when they're jumping out, the parachute jump, Thunderstruck by AC/DC.
Yes.
And what a song, first of all. And then when it's playing there, it's funny. Every time I hear the song, my mind goes to Varsity Blues.
Oh,
when the coach is like, they're like having they're getting destroyed after they got drunk, I think, or something like that. And I'm like, I don't know why, but that's where my mind goes every time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I saw that movie when I was probably too old to see it. Dawson.
Probably.
Dawson.
Oh, Dawson.
But that gets us to, yes, it does not go well at all. So then eventually it's just Deadpool and Domino.
Wait, really? We're gonna skip over Vanisher's cameo?
Oh yeah, that was that was Brad Pitt.
Filmed in under 30 minutes. And I forgot about that too. I was like, wait a second, was that Brad Pitt?
Sure was, yeah.
It is. No, good call for that. Yeah. I'm like, that's right.
It's just
I forgot about that.
on the power lines.
Because the whole time. So what is he even when they're doing the interviews? Is he even really here?
Exactly. Yeah, Vanisher was great. So we do get the battle for the convoy. Awesome battle. Some really cool representations of Domino's powers, which is a lot of fun. And then obviously we get to the point where everything derails and Juggernaut makes his appearance. He's huge. And then basically he's going to team up with Fire Fist. But then yes, Deadpool gets taken in half, and then Domino has to strap him on her back like a backpack and take him back to Blind Al's.
I do absolutely love, and they go through the whole thing where he's shirt cocking it, and all the jokes just over the
Winnie the Pooh.
The Winnie the Pooh.
I do love when we get into the third act and we have the final battle that the lower half of his costume is all duct taped back together.
Yes.
I didn't even.
He's got a couple of duct tape pieces.
Yeah.
One more fun fact during the parachute scene in the prison truck chase. Deadpool, when he lands, he's besides a van with the company name Pryor. think it's like
Ooh.
Pryor,
Oh,
like
good one.
laundry or
Yeah.
something.
Yep,
This
Madeline Pryor.
may be a tongue-in-cheek reference to the X-Men X Factor mutant Madeline Pryor, the clone of Jean Grey.
Cable's
as-
mother.
Yes,
The mother of
as
Cable.
Todd was
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it might also be a reference to comedian Richard Pryor's cocaine-induced act of setting himself on fire in
Oh,
1981. Since the
right.
camera pans to reveal Vanisher's body on fire in the street.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that is
Good catch.
I'm gonna go with they're both valid. I like
Yeah,
both
they're
of them.
both
I-
pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that good? And I saw
salute
that truck.
that.
In
Yeah.
the,
I absolutely love it. I am all
Yep.
about that. Good deal.
Yeah. So then we finally get the, basically Cable is kind of out of ideas, and so is Deadpool. So they've
up.
joined forces together.
So
It's fantastic. Walking like a little toddler with those little legs to shake his hand. I love the Basic Instinct.
Yeah.
Scene. It's
Yep.
phenomenal.
And they even
Yep.
say that too in there. It doesn't
Right.
Yep.
that's what,
It's his,
Oh,
it's his
boy.
basic
DJ says,
instinct.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Sure,
then we do.
packing it. Terrible.
Yep, we get the final, final act where the team is all together. They do the final, everything's in
where
slow
Dopin-
motion.
Slow
Yes,
motion.
Oh, right.
I thought
yes,
that was
yes.
hilarious. I love it. And then he just takes off, right?
His power
It's
is
like-
courage. His power is
Right.
courage.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Courage. Yeah.
And in the end of it, when we get through everything, which I admit I described that earlier on, and we're doing the everybody's walking away, and the bad headmaster he played Ray Donovan's brother in Ray Donovan, if you've ever seen that show. But he come out and he's screaming, "You're gonna burn in hell," whatever, and that's when Dopinder flies up with his cab and just annihilates him. And then that's the end. And what's Deadpool's speech at the end? If you take just a dab of racism and a touch of diabetes,
a touch of courage, diabetes, luck. Yeah. Oh, because I love the ongoing joke where he made Cable to be a racist, even though he wasn't.
Because Black Tom, he says, hey, I recognize him for the character of the quality of his character, not the color of his skin. No, I'm pretty sure he was a black guy.
Yeah, it's very, very good. But yeah, I'll get
In that final battle, do you remember what costume turns?
He got gray.
Oh, yes, that's the X-Force version.
Yeah.
Right.
Where basically went undercover, all black. Yep, very good catch.
And
there.
then that gave you another figure in the Build-A-Figure wave and Marvel Legends that came out that year.
So many Deadpools.
So many.
X-Men and X-Force.
Yeah. So we obviously find out that the team works together to stop Fire Fist from killing the headmaster, but he ends up killing Deadpool instead, which essentially brings everyone together, which then leads us to Deadpool. Cable ends up giving up his last a chance to go back to the future,
right,
and basically sets it so he puts Vanessa's coin into his breast pocket to block the bullet.
What did you guys think of his? And just
I thought it was great.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yes. Keep talking.
And the just pauses, and then he's back. He's like,
he's back again.
You're
like,
just where it needed to be in a film where you're not supposed to take anything. It would be ridiculous if you were trying to take anything seriously. Yeah.
Music, the same as in Logan.
Oh, was it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
During the scene, I noticed that I shout out again to Amazon.
Yeah.
Done is the music the same when Logan dies, and it says by Marco Beltrami. I don't know.
No clue. That's
That
that's
might
good.
have been
All right.
another thing in there.
Research drums.
I forgot.
It would be part of the soundtrack, I assume, right?
Yeah.
The score.
So I was like, I can't remember,
okay.
and I was gonna go look up death scene, and I still need to do that.
Logan's theme. Yeah.
Logan's theme, not Logan's.
And
different
Charlie, yes, identified this. Yes, Ryan Reynolds was the voice of Juggernaut.
I know it. I just something that I remember because again, Todd, as we talked about last week, this is a film that we spoiler casted when it came out because we'd been making the show that long. So yeah. All right. Well, let's wrap this bad boy up. By giving a rating, we'll go around the horn. Daniel, we've been rating them out of 10 claws, even though this is not a Wolverine movie. That's the standard we use. Unless did we do something different last week? Was that out of 10 katanas?
How about out of 10 Deadpool appendages that have been?
10. If Deadpool had 10 limbs, get one out of 10. or
Can
out of
I
10?
ask? Can I just say, best part of the movie? Way traveling through time.
Yes.
Oh
Say-
yes,
save his
everything.
horse
Right.
was hilarious. Just
Saint
killing
Peter.
the old.
Right.
I do remember that.
And the Green Lantern
And the
script.
Green Lantern.
Yes.
Man,
Yes.
that was another
Incredible.
dagger in my heart, man. I just want a good Green Lantern film.
Can
I
I
love
ask,
Green
Someday.
Lantern.
Someday.
I need some. Me a couple of your ratings on the other movies, so I know where.
We never remember what those are. I don't think.
Well, I would say because all the movies, like I really
What's
thought
your
we were gonna
highest
be
rated?
Logan.
Yeah, Logan. Logan was a
One.
10
What's
from
your
both
lowest?
of us. X3.
Or not X3,
X3.
sorry, X3.
Yeah,
X3. X3 was probably the lowest, but we honestly, Dan, I don't know if I'm getting soft in my old age, but
Everything.
I thought even the bad ones weren't as bad as I remembered for some reason.
Yeah, we went.
Really? X3? Really?
Yeah, we went full member berries in enjoyment and everything. There was a silver lining to every cloud that was in this
Yeah.
summer.
My
of X
rare
that we've been
like
doing.
my
To be
rare
fair,
and because
We
No.
didn't talk about that. We didn't
watch Dark Phoenix or Apocalypse because I quite honestly I
can't do it.
mm.
All
But you
right,
did-
so let's move forward. Daniel, by all means, out of Deadpool arms and legs, out of 10, what are you giving us?
Like I said, I watched it once. I thought there were some moments. I can't say that this is a great movie, but I'm gonna 7 claws.
That's not bad.
It's good. It's good.
It's not bad.
There you go.
Better X-Men movies, even the first Deadpool.
Yeah,
7 out of 10 claws.
7 out of 10.
MDB, they're right around there.
There you
That's what I
go.
would give.
There you go. All right, Todd, what about you?
You know, I am going to give this an 8.5.
Ooh.
I
Whoa.
really enjoy watching with my son. We both cracked up. It was like, oh yeah, I like these movies for a point because these movies, I mean, jokes per minute. I don't know if there's a movie that had, but I mean, I know it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but for me, I fully enjoyed this. It brought me back like, oh my God. So I'm like solely pumped for Wolverine Deadpool. I cannot wait. So yeah. 8.5.
I'll take it a step further. It's a flat 9 for me. It was super enjoyable. Laughing all the way. And again, like I said, we've done this movie before, but I had obviously seen it a few times after it had come out, but it had been certainly 3 or 4 years probably before I sampled it again. I might have caught it in a hotel somewhere. But with all the content that we have to talk about, we just don't rewatch things the way that we did in the distant past. So yeah, this was a rocking good time. And I watched it over a week ago because April wanted to watch it again, and I would have watched it this weekend, but she wasn't around. So we watched it last week, and I'm still just buzzing about how much fun it is. So yeah, all right. We tee up to film where Todd, we're being joined by who's our guest next week?
That would be Mr. Badbit, Joe Moran.
Oh, yeah.
Did
Our
he make a
Spider-Man
double-
correspondent.
Yeah.
Did a double feature here? Wasn't he on for another?
No, we haven't had him in this.
You haven't had Joe on.
No.
He's usually our strong core ringer for
Spider-Man.
He's coming in for this one.
He came in for Spider-Verse 2, I believe. That was the last movie.
Yeah, it
he
was last
on
summer.
for.
Oh,
Last
maybe
summer,
that's
good
what I'm
deal.
remembering. Okay.
Yep.
Well, Daniel, man, thank you. Do people find you out there?
Guys, thank you so much. Thank you for having me on. Into what you guys were saying about the other movies, I'm
Please do.
very, very excited. But you can find me at all social media. I do have the. You can follow our little show, the Nerdchat. Todd is he's our honorary in to go look things up all the time during the show.
Boy.
Love having Todd has been on the show a few times. He is.
How fun!
I know you don't play video games as much, but if you ever want to old days, you are welcome.
I would find I'm a chameleon. I would be happy to come on. I'll talk about something. So yeah,
absolutely. So,
you'll have to poke them to wake them up because Charlie, they're in Mountain Time. They start recording at 8:30 my time.
Charlie's way out there.
Eastern time. Eastern time.
Michigan. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see. But anyway, yes. Keep me on the horn. Well, cool. Todd, what about you? Where do people find you?
They can follow me at TOxtra on Threads and at Secret Friends Unite on Threads. Also, check out our Discord. We're having fun over there. And we are doing our first community podcast. People that are Patreons are part of the show. We're gonna have a blast. We're gonna talk about all things nerd. Maybe have a play a game or so. We're just gonna have a good time. July 31st. If you're a Patreon, you're automatically invited. And if people want to check out our Patreon and join us, sign up for free for a week.
Good enough.
Join us on the show.
Good enough reason to do it. Patreon.com/Secret Friends Unite. Do your 1 weeker because that's coming up July 31. So that's 10 days from when we're recording. So sign up soon. And you can find me over on the Threads and the Instagram at the C3. TheCeeThree. Also super active on our Secret Friends Unite Discord. My wife and I did also recently start a Discord for Star Trek fans in the state of Michigan. But even if you don't live in the state of Michigan and just want to talk Trek, boom, find us, Discord. That's how it's done. All right. With that, friends, as always, thank you for joining us. I'm going to tell you that sharing is caring and to keep on trucking.
Be the hero, not the villain.
In a truck.
See you online.
Keep it in your prison wallet.
This podcast is part of the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and podcast services around the galaxy, as well as video on our YouTube channel. You can support Secret Friends Unite by becoming a Patreon member, get bonus programs and more over at patreon.com/secretfriendsunite. Join our Discord community for even more discussions on all things geek. For all the latest updates on Secret Friends Unite, make sure to follow us on Threads at secret.friends.unite and visit secretfriendsunite.com. Find our merchandise at TeePublic and Redbubble. Thanks for listening, and may the Force live long and prosper.